I would like to advise all those present that notice of this regular meeting of June 17, 2026 has been provided to the public in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act of the State of New Jersey. Notice of time and place of this meeting has been included in the annual notice of meetings, which was posted and filed with the city clerk and with the Bergen Record and Asbury Press. An additional notice of time and place was posted and filed with the city clerk and was forwarded to the Bergen Record and Star Ledger on June 12, 2026. The regular meeting of the Municipal Council of the City of Bayonne is now in session. Ms. Medina, please call the roll.
Mr. Booker?
Here.
Mr. Carroll?
Here.
Mr. Perez?
Here.
Ms. Weimer?
Here.
Mr. La Palusa?
Here, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, our first item is the amendments to the calendar year 2026 local municipal budget, which was introduced at the meeting held June 10th and was published on the Bayonne website and posted on the bulletin boards required by law, and are now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And who'd like to move it for second reading? A resolution for second reading.
Move it.
Second.
And on second reading, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And it is read in full. Here we go. Whereas the local municipal budget for calendar year 2026 was approved on this day, on the 10th day of June 2026, and whereas the public hearing on the said budget has been advertised, and whereas it is desired to amend the approved budget now, therefore be it resolved by the Municipal Council of the City of Bayonne that the following amendments to the approved budget of calendar year 2026 be made. And it's general revenue from surplus anticipated from $12,100,000 to $12,375,000. Miscellaneous revenue, Section D, special items of revenue, shared services agreement, garbage renewal contract, Bayonne Board of Education, from $355,453 and no cents to $362,384.64. Debt service, Empire Golf, from $425,000 to $450,000. Summary of revenue, surplus anticipated $12,100,000 to $12,375,000. Section D, special items of revenue, shared services agreement, $627,453 to $634,384.64. Section G, special items of revenue from $17,223,405.18 to $17,248,405.18. Total miscellaneous revenues, $54,649,072.51 to $54,681,004.15. Subtotal general revenues, $67,099,072.51 to $67,406,004.15. Amount to be raised by taxes to support the municipal budget. Local tax for municipal purposes, including reserve for uncollected taxes, $100,365,530.37 to $100,364,865.25. Total amount to be raised by taxes for the support of municipal budget from $105,889,178.38 to $105,888,513.26. Total general revenue from $172,998,250.89 to $173,294,517.41. General appropriations. Operations within caps, solid waste recycling collection from $3,284,375 to $2,849,991. Total operations, item A, within the caps, $117,665,760 to $117,231,376. Total operating, including contingents within the caps, $117,666,760 to $117,232,376. Detailed other expenses, including contingent, $48,863,475 to $48,429,091. Overexpenditure off-duty police, trust, and building fines from zero to $438,269. Total deferred charges and statutory expenditures, $22,190,520.07 to $22,628,789.07. Total general appropriations for municipal purpose within caps, $139,857,280.07 to $139,861,165.07. Operations excluded from caps, garbage removal, collection, Board of Education, from $60,000 to $362,384.84. Total interlocal municipal services agreement from $332,000 to $634,384.64. Total operations excluded from caps, $9,245,077.76 to $9,547,462.40. Other expenses from $8,934,599.10 to $9,236,983.74. Total general appropriations for municipal purposes excluded from caps, $30,308,326.56 to $30,610,711.20. Total general appropriations excluded from caps, $32,039,937.01 to $32,342,321.65. Reserve for uncollected taxes, $1,091,033.81 to $1,091,030.69. Total general appropriations, $172,988,250.89 to $173,294,517.41. Total general appropriations for municipal purposes within the caps, $139,857,280.07 to $139,861,165.07. Operations excluded from cap, shared services agreement, $322,000 to $634,384.64. Total operations excluded from caps, $9,245,077.76 to $9,547,462.40. Reserve for uncollected taxes, $1,091,033.81 to $1,091,030.69. Total general appropriations, $172,998,250.89 to $173,294,517.41. Okay. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this budget amendment an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. Anyone on the amendments?
Yes.
Janice Mattis, 624 Avenue E. Perhaps the budget should be tabled until the new administration comes in, because this is being pushed through. I don't understand all of these things that are going on. They might have a better understanding.
It's not a bad suggestion. at all. So, do you want to discuss it to my colleagues?
We'd have to start from the beginning then, we've already got state approval, we're already late. I mean, something you do, halfway through the year.
Well, speak on the mic, if you're going to speak, Neil. Jackie, whatever you want to say.
My feeling on the budget is this. A year ago, almost to the day, I said at the council meeting, I wouldn't vote on a budget, another budget, that contained the tax increase if we did not take some significant action to address the working man's needs in this city. And another year had passed and we hadn't done it, and so if we go to a vote, it is my intention to vote no, but I believe the future council has run on the promise that affordability is their key issue, and if they believe, I have hope, and perhaps they can find cuts where we didn't. So that's my feelings.
I do think that it would be
I do also think that it would be tying the hands of a future administration to a budget that we are committing to basically on their behalf. I did not take into consideration, and I was not aware that they would not have the ability to cover salaries, which is clearly an obligation of the city.
I'm prepared to vote either way. If you guys want, this is democracy. If you guys want to table it, we'll table it.
We do have
So-
additional comments. Why don't we take the comments from the community?
Okay.
So I agree that it should be tabled, but if there's an issue around salaries, that should be taken offline and figured out as an emergency part, and then given to the new incoming people coming into the administration, and then they can, sign off on that as need be. We're talking a couple of weeks, right? That's what we're talking about, so.
We'll have to start the whole process over, it'll be months. We'll have to introduce the budget again, have a public hearing, go through state review and approval, and then have a second public hearing. So we're doing estimated tax bills now, so we'll get at least the next quarter, you will not be able to mail tax bills for the fourth quarter, which will mean no cash. And maybe you could change your administration, but you also have an obligation as a council, and if you do not adopt the budget on time, the state can also impose fines, personal fines. They can impose on me if I don't present the budget, and then if you don't adopt the budget, that's up to local finance board though. But this budget is based on salaries and contracts that were awarded. There's nothing.
I sat with Ms. Mauer.
If it could be cut, it could be cut.
Right. I sat with Ms. Mauer for about an hour and a half the other day, and we went through different things, different changes. And I did not see anything that I could trim, and I tried. I mean, we spoke back and forth about different things. So I am prepared to vote because I don't want to see, obviously, salaries not paid. But at the same time, I do understand the thinking of going to the next council that comes in. So I think at this point, we need to hear from everybody. You heard from me, you heard from Neil, Jackie, Juan.
I totally agree with Neil. It should be the next council. If there's any situations in here that they can cut or improve, by all means, go right ahead. So I totally agree with Neil and Jackie.
Okay, Councilman Booker, I want to chime in. Listen, I agree with the fact that if they can find something that they deem necessary to cut, I'm all for that. But however, I'm also I'm torn between the fact that we don't want anyone not being paid, okay? I mean, that is the whole idea here. So I I'm a little twixt in between in terms of what my vote is, and I'm still thinking on that aspect.
Ms.
Mr.
Mattis,
President.
you could come up and speak.
And you couldn't table it, you would just have to vote against the budget. Right? There's no next meeting. So we just vote against it, and then the process would start in July. August, they can introduce, you have to wait 28 days before you have another public hearing. Maybe September have a public hearing. You know, I don't know, that will be up to the state.
Okay, this, ma'am, I don't know your name. Donna. You made the statement that it was already late. Why was it already late? Why was it not proposed before?
Can you
Because you said-
speak closer into the mic?
Sure.
Thank you.
In order to adopt the budget, we have to go through a process with the state and
Okay.
prove all the revenues that we anticipate. We have to
Okay.
prove that we're going to receive those revenues. So the more revenues we get in, the lower the tax rate. So what we try to do is, I have to certify what we've collected up to that date. So we try to get in as many as we can, the pilot revenues, the municipal court revenues, and get it to the maximum amount before we actually introduce the budget and move forward. Closing of land sales, we have land sales on there, and until I have a contract, that can go into the budget. So if we were to introduce on time, the tax rate would be much higher, because I wouldn't have the amount of revenues.
Okay.
That's the only reason we delay it. I try to get it on time, but
Okay. Okay, thank you very much for the information.
Yes.
Michael O'Connor, 265 Avenue A. I came to speak on another matter, but I just was present, obviously, for this, and clearly, this is your budget, and you spent more than, well, you spent at least 6 months of the budget year already. And so if the new administration wants to make changes, they can do that, even after you adopt that budget. So quite frankly, it would appear to me, and I haven't been to a council meeting in 15 years maybe, all right? So I know this is your last council meeting. It's your responsibility. That's why you were elected. There's something I'm going to speak on next, which I don't think you should act on. But this, obviously, the horse is out of the barn here. Whatever you did to make this as reasonable as possible for the taxpayers of the city, you should buy it, own it, and move on. And if things need to be changed in the next administration, let the next administration do that, but not have to do what was just described, to go through a budget process, to have to go down to the local finance board and the OSC and everybody else and try to redo this now. So things can be undone afterwards if it's decided to move forward and amend the budget or do something else. But why don't you do something and give the new administration a fresh slate, at least for this? That's my thought. Council President?
Wait 1 second, please let Ms. Weimer
I do
speak.
think, I apologize, I do think if the new administration finds ways of cost-saving tactics and services that are not required, I guess that simply would not necessarily change the approved budget, but would rather effectuate a cost savings that could just be held in reserve for the next budget. So that's not, I don't disagree with Mr. O'Connor stating that perhaps it's not necessarily, yes, the budget is being approved as stated. However, if there are tax efficiencies and different cost-saving methods that the new administration has, it would simply have an even greater effect. So
I'm okay on voting
I
on
don't
it, too.
disagree.
So, Ms. Desmond?
In the 14 months that I'm here,
Can't hear you. Hold the button.
sorry. In the 14 months that I've been here, we have every day spent, I'm in her office every day, looking for ways to save, to cut, and to improve. There are things that we have held back on that need to be done because we did not want to add to the budget. We took a great deal of both risk and responsibility in changing our health benefits plan and saving a huge, multi-millions of dollars. I am very confident that not much more could have been done except to bring in new revenue. We are bare bones. I think it's important, I agree with Mr. O'Connor, it's important to be responsible and do this now. It is the only document that is going to allow us to keep paying bills and keep everything status quo. There's no fat in here, and there's no new spending. It's holding the line, which is the best we could do right now. It's a transition. It's a reset. And I do expect that the new administration is going to make every effort to improve and to make things better for the city. I have no doubt. But right now, this is all you have to work with. It's all they will have to work with when they come in. You have to have continuity.
Ms. Russo?
Sure. On behalf of the Law Department, Donna Russo, Law Director, council members, postponing action, in my opinion, would transfer responsibility for a matter that has already been reviewed and considered by the current governing body to officials who have not yet participated in that process. Where the current council has sufficient information on which to act, it is appropriate and responsible for the council to exercise its judgment and make a determination this evening. Absent a demonstrated emergency, a material change in circumstances, or a legal impediment, there is no compelling reason to defer action. The public interest is best served by providing certainty, maintaining the continuity of government, and allowing the duly constituted governing body to complete the business before it. Accordingly, adoption tonight is appropriate, lawful, and consistent with sound municipal governance. It's my opinion.
Okay. And my opinion is I've spent a lot of time
Everybody should say
going through this budget,
there's no fat.
and I'm confident it does have an increase. It has a 2.3% increase, which is very low compared to many of the other. We have Board of Ed. We know they had a 12% increase. The county, you sent me the number, I can't remember, but it was higher than 5%, was higher than ours. And for the amount of the atrocities, I'll call them, that we went through with increases between energy and gas, the health insurance, pensions, 2.3%, not that I'm bragging about it, but I'm proud that it's not 10, 12, or even 5% at that rate. I'm ready to vote on it if the council wants to do that. And I think hearing about that and the possible, the possible problems we could have with salaries, I think we should vote on it. And that's something that we just found out now. So I'm going to say, unless anybody has something different, I think we should vote on it.
Could I say something?
Yes, Mr.
Listen,
Perez.
Donna, thank you for informing me, and Donna, thank you again. And the same thing, Mary Jane, you have opened my eyes. I think, I feel like with Gary right now, that I think we should go for this.
Okay,
Okay, with no other speakers, may I have a motion to close the hearing?
move it.
And on the motion to close, Mr. Booker.
Okay, I want to make a brief statement. My statement before was my concern is the salaries and people getting paid and the budget. The idea was if there was something that we did not see, the new administration would adjust that. The concern here is for the citizens. That's what we were elected for, and having a responsibility. And I'm going to vote aye on this budget.
You're closing the hearing right now.
Oh, my bad. I apologize.
Mr. Carroll.
You voting aye?
Aye to
the
close.
hearing. Right.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye,
And a resolution ordering final adoption.
move it.
Second.
And on the resolution for final adoption, Mr. Booker.
I've already made my statement. Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
At no point did I think any of the individuals didn't do their job. I know they did an excellent job, and there were meetings held hours long, and my objection was a moral one, but I understand the risks inherent in not doing this and the people that could be hurt by it. If I was granted 4 more years to crusade for what I've been crusading for the last 8, I might have stayed resolved to say no. But we have to put our faith in the promises of the future, and so I will vote aye on this budget.
Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer?
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
And budget has passed. 01 is an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, New Jersey, adopting the redevelopment plan for the property located at 301 and 300 and 302 Constitution Avenue, which is identified as Block 803, Lot 1, and Block 815, Lot 1, as shown on the official tax map of the city pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law. It was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held March the 18th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin board as required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage at the following public meetings of April 15th and was postponed to the meeting of May 13th, and is now before the council for its consideration and the public hearing. And a resolution moved by Councilmember Perez, giving the ordinance second reading. Mr. Booker, will you second? On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, New Jersey, adopting a redevelopment plan for the property located at 301 and 300-302 Constitution Avenue, which is identified as Block 803, Lot 1, and Block 815, Lot 1. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak.
Mr. O'Connor.
Thank you. And this is the matter I did come to speak tonight about. I'm confused, or concerned and confused about this. First of all, I noted on the agenda, it said ordinance is scheduled for hearing, and this was characterized as old, because it's been, I guess, kicking around a while. But when I went and looked on and I only knew about this morning. Somebody talked to me about this and asked me questions about this in the bagel store. And I went and I looked online and I saw, and they were talking about a 50-story building, and I said, I don't think that's accurate, because the redevelopment plan was actually scheduled for a hearing of the planning board, and the planning board meeting was canceled. So the city council wouldn't be considering adopting a redevelopment plan that had not been subject to a public hearing of the planning board. So if there's somebody that could explain that to me, that's around, why the city council's even considering this for second reading when the planning board had this on their agenda.
Yeah. Mr. Skillender is the Director of Planning and Zoning. He's going to explain it to you.
Terrific.
So on this matter was introduced in January of this year. We have Mr. Bill Opal from McManaman, Scotland and Bauman that can go over the legal proceedings and procedures for this. Generally speaking, Mr. O'Connor, you are right that there should be a referral to the planning board. Given the fact of that there has not been a planning board meeting for the last 4 months on that, under the law, any referral from to the planning board, the city council isn't bound by a planning board hearing, as that hearing, hasn't occurred. There's a 45-day rule where the planning board has to take action. If not, then the planning board may take action, but the city council isn't bound by that. I'll let Mr. Opal go into the procedures.
Let me stop you there for a moment, if you don't mind. And forgive me, I'm not trying to be rude here, but I understand what you're saying. I'm not necessarily sure that's accurate, but I understand what you're saying. But what you're saying here is, I think, what your position is that while the city council can consider this for final adoption and adopt it, even though the planning board of the city of Bayonne, which scheduled a public hearing, never had one for the public to voice its concerns about this, right? But because the planning board didn't have a quorum and missed a couple of meetings.
It was 4 months in a row.
Okay, so 4 months, all right, but, let's face it, we have people, Councilman Booker is a member of the planning board, right? The business of government is the business of government, right? So I don't know why there wasn't a planning board quorum for 4 months. I mean, I'm presuming it had to do something. Let's face it. In fact, I'll call it out. The reason why, because I had a matter of interest that was on the planning board, site plan approval, the synagogue, right? So that's why I know that the planning board meetings were canceled. My view is the planning board meetings were canceled for potential political expediency, okay? There were a number of people on the planning board that were running for office during that period of time. That may be unfortunate, and it may be unfortunate that the planning board didn't, because people were busy, right?
And then
Because-
you can make that same argument, even though it's a bold statement,
Yeah.
about the last planning board meeting.
Well, there you go. There you
Okay,
go. So my point is, though, the public did not have an opportunity to review this plan. I didn't have an opportunity to review the plan, right? The public did not have an opportunity to review the plan. And the public, which the redevelopment law calls it out, that the proper process for this, and one that you've followed probably, I'd say, at least 50 times since you all have been here, because you've done a lot of redevelopment plans, since dozens and dozens of them. I think it's fair to say there's very few, if any, redevelopment plans that you guys have adopted without having the planning board review them, all right? There may be examples of them, but I can't think of any. Okay, well, that's unfortunate, too. But in this instance, for a matter that is so important to the city of Bayonne, a 50-story building, right? You're going to, at the last meeting of this city council, without a hearing of the planning board, right, with a redevelopment plan that basically allows a I don't know who the owner of that site is. It's, first of all, my understanding is, because I just looked at the redevelopment plan a couple of minutes ago, this is for a location that currently has how many units of housing on it?
There's currently 2 buildings there of roughly 550 units.
All right, so we're talking about a fully developed site with 550 units that without the planning board having a hearing, which was scheduled, with a redevelopment plan that wasn't vetted by the public in that circumstance, right? That I don't have, that you're going to have. I'm sorry. You're going to finish, and you're going to at your last meeting, you're going to go and have a vote on this at a location that is, a very important, critical location in the city of Bayonne for future development, the peninsula, right? We all know what the issues are with traffic. So I'll ask you, was there a traffic study related to this plan? Because I couldn't find it online.
In the plan, again, the parking standards are 1.1 on this. I also think, though, that part of the process and the conversation occurring right now, will be better, left to Mr. Opel to explain on the legal process of this, but also just to clarify, the planning board's obligation at this point is the master plan consistency review. Does this conform with the city's overall vision as to what future redevelopment will look like? That is the planning board's role in reviewing this redevelopment plan.
But I'm sorry, I'm going to stop you for a moment. That's not the only, that is a requirement, but that is not the only involvement that the planning board can take with a plan, right? The plan, I mean, how many of you have been on them? You've been members of the planning board, right? You've amended plans as they came to you because there are issues that you had concerns about. That's what that process is part. It's part of a deliberative process, and it was short-circuited here. And it was short-circuited for some reason. Now, I don't know whether it's because of the developer and their interests, the developer's professionals who have an interest in it. I don't know what that is. But this is not the way to go out. I mean, I think I admire you and I respect you for what you just did with that budget. It would have been easy just to hand that off to the next council, but you took responsibility for it, and you did that. In this instance, to allow this to occur on a major site where there's a lot of issues. I mean, we all know what the issues are with the traffic down there, right? And those have not been resolved. Hopefully, I know you're taking a lot of steps to do that. Hopefully, they will be resolved. I notice we're sitting here today and the city planner's not here to answer questions about this. Is there, the city planner's not here.
She was in the building.
Oh, but she's not here, And I'll note that when I looked at the plan just a few minutes ago, I noticed that because it's not attached to the ordinance, Counselor, that's on this the website. I had to go back into one of the agendas for one of the council meetings and find this plan. That's where I found it. I don't think you have it anywhere else on the website.
I don't control the website on that.
Okay, and you may not control the website, but we're all responsible for making the public aware and having all this information available, right? So it's not readily available. And what I noted was and this is the plan that's on the website now, so just forgive me, just let me pull up the page. So on the second page of the 67-page document, it says, adopted pursuant to, and this is, blank right now, adopted as pursuant to NJSA 40A: of the New Jersey Local Redevelopment Housing Law, ordinance by the Municipal Council of the City of Bayonne on second reading and public hearing on such and such date, which would be today, following adoption by the Planning Board of the City of Bayonne on blank day. All right? So that's going to remain blank because the City Planning Board never got around to doing this for whatever reason, and the public never got an opportunity on something that is critical. Let me ask you this. Let me go back to this. There's 580-something units on this site right now. They are not going anywhere, right? There is no reason for the City Council to take this action today on this plan, on this redevelopment plan, when the Planning Board hasn't had an opportunity to see it, or to review it, or the public. Let the next Planning Board and Council, let them do it. It's not of something of great imminent importance like the budget that you just passed. All right? And I'm here because I'm aggrieved. And I'm aggrieved because there was a matter on a Planning Board and that came before the council on a matter of personal interest to me, the synagogue site on 48th Street, right? You all know that because you saw me at a community meeting, whatever. And my view is that the concerns of the residents, the concerns of my partner who owns a condominium there, Ginger Kemp, the concerns of people who are property owners there, and the concerns that I expressed in, a pretty forceful way, maybe too forceful, were not addressed or concerned, or addressed or even considered. And I went to a planning board meeting when Councilman Booker voted, and we had a back and forth, Councilman, and one of the things that stuck with me that you said was, we rely on our professionals, because there was a plan amendment, because the plan had been screwed up the first time. There was a mistake in that plan, and in February, there was a planning board meeting to change that redevelopment plan, and then bring it back to the council. Now, that's how I got the opportunity, as a member of the public, to speak about this, about a redevelopment plan, all right? The public did not have the opportunity with this 01. And I don't see any reason why the city council today, with there's nothing pressing to have you vote on this, to give somebody whatever it is they're looking for in this without going to the planning board first. It just does, it's a big red flag, and it's not necessary. So I urge you, I mean, I know I'm testifying here or whatever, right? I don't really want to hear from anybody from McManaman in Scotland. I'm familiar with the local land and buildings law and the redevelopment law. I understand that it is possible, possibly legal, to do this without the planning board, but it's not right. It's not right.
But, Mr. O'Connor, on the other hand, several things on this agenda had to be canceled because that last planning board meeting was canceled. Now, we, as a council, have the option. I can do this, and I need 45-day window, so I can make a special council meeting before the end of the month if I want to pass some of these. Some of these are near and dear to everybody's heart. There's several people out in the audience that wanted to see something happen with St. Vincent's. That was one that was canceled. Several people wanted to see an assisted living that was canceled. So, wait. So, we're not going to say what the reason was, but you and I could speculate what the reason was.
Say that again?
We're not going to say what the reason was, why the meeting was canceled. You and I can speculate if we want, but we're not going to say what the reason was. I brought this same issue up that you're making now with my colleagues about whether this should be on the agenda or not. I try and do everything the democratic way. And several of them felt very strongly that they wanted to vote on this.
Well, I'd like to, you know what?
I'm explaining to you. I don't have
I'm
to
hearing
explain,
you.
but I want you to
I get
explain. And you and I know each other for a long time.
We do,
so,
absolutely.
So I wanted to give you the courtesy of explaining to you why this is on now.
Okay.
And also the consequence of not having a planning board. And also, I refused to have the special meeting before the end of the year because I don't think that's right. And I'm agreeing with you in that regard. But as for this, because it's been tabled for 4 months, some of my colleagues were very strong about this.
Okay.
And that's the reason why this is on and several of the other ones are off.
Well, I think it's fair to say whatever reasons are, those are probably misplaced because I cannot fathom and nobody will be able to explain what the urgency of doing this is. And I agree with you about the planning board, right? You volunteer to serve on a planning board, you make sure that you're there, right? And if you're an alternate, you make sure that you're there.
I get it that here and there, everybody can miss one, but
That's right.
4 months in a row.
That's right.
Just a lot.
But that's not a reason to consider this today without the planning board hearing it. It is too big, important, impactful of a change in a redevelopment plan with nobody from the planning department here, nobody that can talk about what the rationale was, other than, council here, who's not a licensed planner. So there was no testimony about that at a public meeting. It's just not the place or time to do it now. So, and there's other things about it too, but I'll leave it at that and let whoever else wants to speak about this speak. But I appreciate your consideration. I appreciate the fact that you guys all, selflessly served for 4 years and many of you more, and I congratulate you on the work you did. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Director Skillender, while we're waiting for the gentleman to come up to the microphone,
Sure.
is this plan in line with the master plan and with the intended development of that base?
So as
That property.
as a requirement in every redevelopment plan, there has to be a link to the master plan for the master plan consistency review. So in section 5.1, it talks, or in section 5, talks about relationships to other plans. Specifically then for 5.1, talks about the Bayonne master plan. And again, it goes goals, objectives, principles, assumptions, policies, and standards of the 2000 master plan. And it includes 5 enumerated goals. So again, preserve and protect the establishment of residential character, provide for capable infill residential development in appropriate locations, and encourage a broad range of housing choices for residents. 2, promote the creation of a fully intermodal transportation system that enhances local circulation, increase regional access, and provide links and international destinations, coordinate land use with transportation investments to promote intermodal connections, and encourage alternatives to driving, such as mass transit, freight, and bike/pedestrian facilities. 3, plan for and promote plan and promote the redevelopment of underutilized or vacant commercial and/or industrial properties, including Moppy, the Texaco site, and portions of Broadway. 4, focus economic activity, the city's major economic centers, including Broadway, Moppy, the Route 440 corridor, and Constable Hook industrial areas. recognize the unique characteristics of each area, and promote development that will strengthen and reinforce market niches. 5, plan for and promote the mixed-use redevelopment of MAPI in order to create employment, generate tax ratables, and enhance the quality of life for residents and workers. So while it goes for the 2000 plan, the 2017 reexamination further, states on this of the military ocean terminal is planned as a thriving mixed center for a deep water port, ferry, light industrial uses, commercial spaces, a waterfront residential enclave, and in extensive recreational amenities such as the Hudson River Walkway. Under the economic recommendations, the 2017 reexamination recommends the continued support of the redevelopment MAPI and the Texaco site. Overall, the city's master plan and 2017 reexamination report seek to promote reinvestment into the redevelopment of the MAPI area as a way to revitalize this portion of the community and take advantage of public transportation. So those are the listed master plan referrals. MAPI has always been a plan to allow for multifamily mixed use. The city has, again, has been focusing on reoccurring revenue. That is why we have been very focused heavily on the residential redevelopment within Bayonne on that. We've re-examined our financial agreements to make sure that the land tax credit on the financial agreements for residential, we can exempt the land tax and get the full benefit of the pilot payment. So there's no land tax credit there.
Let me ask you something. So we all know that I'm very, very big on community contributions and how it will affect our community. I do believe the plan for this comes with $1 million contribution to the community. In addition, couldn't this be considered with additional contingencies and restrictions that would allow for that traffic relief and congestion, as well as requirements to provide such things as shuttles to and from transit hubs and retail locations and things of that nature? I think we had that requirement placed in another redevelopment plan that we worked on. So the site plan, could the redevelopment plan, please forgive me, but
yeah.
couldn't it be made? I do know that this particular developer has worked with us for round about a year, and you yourself have gone back and forth with requirements communicated from the council, with adjacent properties to coordinate with. And so I think that there has been a tremendous amount of time, effort, and funds spent here for it to simply fall by the wayside when that developer did meet all of our stated requirements as communicated by yourself.
So again, for the overall plan itself, yes, we've been working with the developer, adjacent property owners to address some of the issues. I think O2 is better left with the special improvement district on the overall needs for MAPI. The shuttle service there, the traffic light, the road improvements that have to go, also planning and entertainment areas. But that would be up to the improvement district, special improvement district, to help alleviate, which is on the agenda for the next one. Again, also listed as old as it was carried from a prior meeting for the hearing. Again, on this one, from a legal perspective, I do think it's best for the record to also hear from McManaman and Scotland, so it's not from a professional like myself. Yeah.
Why don't we let this gentleman speak?
Speak.
And then when you're done, we'll have the professional speak.
Yeah.
So if you
Sounds
could
good.
give us your name and address.
My name is Damian Bavona. I'm on 9th Street, 152 9th Street. So I've been in this city for 20 years. Came here because I married my wife, moved here, beautiful community. Our son went to Bailey's. And the community part is the part that's starting to lose its cachet, right? One-family houses, two-family houses, three-family houses. Then all of a sudden, over the last 5 years, for good reasons and maybe not, these buildings started going up, 4 stories, 5 stories, all rentals, right? Not many condominiums, rentals coming in, so those are transient people. Nobody's paying into the city school system. So back to this gentleman's good intro into the big buildings. A 50-story building. I can't even get to Costco now. I can't even go past Costco now. I can't go around Costco. I'm trying every way. You're digging up streets here. You're digging up. Your infrastructure's broken everywhere. I don't even know how you make a pattern out of things. I'm going around 100 blocks just to get out of the city sometimes. It's not working. That master plan has to be looked at all over again, right? I don't know what he was saying about it, but it's terrible. You don't need 50-story buildings here. Who are you putting in there, right? Who's coming here? There's nothing for the kids around here to do. There's no movie theater. You got the beautiful parks, which is great, but beyond that, you have nothing for adults to go to. There's no major entertainments. There's maybe 5 or 6 nice restaurants. That's about it. What are you building? You look at Jersey City. You used to go to Jersey City within 10 minutes you were in downtown Jersey City. If it takes you 45 minutes to get downtown, you're lucky. And that's because of everything they've done. 1 lane for cars, a bicycle lane, 2 bicycles on it, closing this street, a huge building here. We don't want to become that, right? We don't. So whatever we have to do as citizens to stop that building, the huge stories going up, just like the synagogue area, destroyed in a day. That was a beautiful building. Somebody could have done something with it, a community center, something. We did nothing with it. We destroyed it. Now what's going to go up there? Another 10-story building? What, 20 stories? Why? Just to bring more people? We're at 80,000 people. It's more than this town has ever had, 80,000 people, in its whole history, right? Why, right? Why? There's no reason for it. There's no reason to vote on these things now. We have to relook at that whole plan, and we have to have a new planning board, and we have to look at every section. Why are we going down to the peninsula? Doesn't make sense. Do we have to do it all at once? Where are people coming in and going out of? Everything has to be reassessed, and this is not the day to do that. Definitely not. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
We're going to hear from the professional, and then I'll have you speak next. Okay. Mr. Opal?
William Opal, McManaman, Scotland, and Bauman, Redevelopment Council for the city. So Director Skillender basically went over the statutory requirements related to the adoption of a redevelopment plan, and the council did introduce this back in January, and the planning board hasn't acted, and they have 45 days to act. And subsection E of the redevelopment law relating to redevelopment plans provides that the failure of the planning board to transmit its report within 45 days of adoption relieves the city council of its requirement to receive that report. So from a legal basis, the council can consider and vote on the ordinance tonight. Also, as Director Skillender said, the redevelopment plan itself, the draft that's pending, this vote, Section 5 of that does make reference to the city's master plan, the 2017 master plan reexamination, and how it is consistent. So from a legal basis, that's how the council can proceed without that planning board master plan consistency review tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Opal. Ms. Mack is our city planner. She's now here. Did you want to, this lady would like to speak first. So I'll have you come up and speak next. And then you can, Mr. O'Connor, you can ask Ms. Mack the question you had.
Okay. I'm Pat Hilliard. I live at 42 West 23rd Street. I am a tenant, and I have lived at that address for 30 years. I'm a participant and resident of this community. I'm disappointed at the lack of transparency, again, and I'm also disappointed that the public has not had a right to participate in the decision-making on this building. And I think we, as the public, should demand a public hearing on this building. There needs to be a lot more thought that goes into this. There's a lot of problems in that area. Everybody's aware of it. And we need to have the right to participate in this decision about this building, the problems this building is going to bring to our community, which is already very congested over there, as people said. So I think we should demand a public hearing on this building. Thank you.
Sue, do you want to come up to this microphone?
Actually, if you don't mind, then I apologize, but Mr. Opel, if I could ask him a question, please, if you don't mind, counsel.
This is not a new question pertaining to what you spoke about.
Yeah, well, it's because he just cited a section of the redevelopment law. So you cited the section, was it section 8?
7E, yes.
I'm sorry?
7E of the redevelopment.
7E, I apologize. So could you read it out? Because when you said it, wasn't clear about it.
The relevant section
Yeah.
with regard to your concern is that the failure of the planning board to transmit its report within 45 days shall relieve the city council of the requirement to consider that.
Okay, it says it shall relieve the city council of the requirement that the planning board review the redevelopment plan. So there is a requirement, right? There is a requirement that when the city council considers a redevelopment plan, there is a requirement under the redevelopment law that the city council refer it to the planning board and the planning board have a hearing. Is that correct?
There's a requirement that they refer it, which they did.
Okay, all right, okay. And so that is what is prescribed by the law, right? And why do you have you're a really experienced redevelopment lawyer. Why is the statute set up that way?
I can't get into the
Let
wisdom
me
of the
speculate.
legislature as to why they directed it that way.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear. The reason is to allow the planning board, which has the expertise and is the venue for the public to review such a plan, to have the opportunity. Now, what you're saying is that because the planning board, the law allows the city council to move forward without the planning board if the planning board doesn't act within 45 days. Is that right?
I would submit that the 45-day requirement is also in there for a reason, and if there's no action by the planning board within that period, the council is within its right to act.
It is within I'm not questioning whether the council is within its legal right to do this. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there is no reason to not do this without an appropriate and proper hearing of the public. That there is no emergency related to this. For a property this property's not vacant, it's filled with 538 units. And there was the discussion of $1 million. Is that referenced in the redevelopment plan, the $1 million?
The $1 million wouldn't be part of the redevelopment.
What would that be part of?
That would be part of an agreement between the city and the redeveloper with regard to the ultimate improvements that the redevelopment plan allows.
And where's that agreement?
I believe it's on the agenda for tonight.
Is that on the agenda? Is that 02?
No.
Where is that?
Mr. O'Connor, I'm sorry, are you speaking of the community contribution?
I don't know what I'm speaking of, because you mentioned $1 million, not me.
R14 on the agenda tonight.
Yeah, Director Skillender, why don't we explain how that would be effectuated? And Director Skillender, I think, was I actually correct that it was $1 million, or
It's in there, I believe it's written currently right now, that it's, again, back to the 2,500 a door.
Right.
On there, the full plan on it, as for the number of units, there's a range of a maximum up to it, so it's between 1,500 to 1,700 units there, so that's more than over $1 million on that.
In excess of $1 million. So
It's
it's
close to-
1,700 would be three, right.
Yes.
So I'm confused, though. Is this a financial agreement?
No, this is the financial terms of the community benefit payment that we will discuss overall as the project has to be in the redevelopment agreement. It's not in the financial agreement, even though it is dealing with an improvement on the terms of it. This is not a financial agreement. The redevelopment agreement discusses the projects and the benefits to any improvements there. The community benefit payment specifies that it's for parks, infrastructure, roads, as the city, council and the city, needs to allocate or expend on the projects. The other, since we're discussing the redevelopment agreement, one of the other benefits within the redevelopment agreement is a 5% workforce housing requirement of any of the new units that are built. So
where is the redevelopment agreement? Because is that online? Because I didn't see it.
Generally, they're not online. That's R14.
What do you mean generally they're not online?
They're not posted on the city's website.
So you're adopting a resolution for an agreement, a form of agreement. So this is for a form of agreement that's not available to the public? Is that?
It's available for the public to comment on, for the review of it.
How do I comment on an agreement there's no form of to review?
Even for the city's professional service agreements, the contracts are negotiated and finalized after that, the approvals of them.
Listen, I'm not talking about your retainer agreement or your professional services agreements. I'm talking about you're talking about here a redevelopment agreement that the major benefit of this project was just referenced by a member of the council as $1 million, and the redevelopment agreement or a form thereof isn't available. This is the kind of thing, by the way, that would have come out at a planning board meeting, all right? It would have been discussed, and people would have said, what are those benefits, right? And it would have been discussed. It's not being discussed here.
Mr. O'Connor, I have to disagree with you. That would not have been.
It's 5 minutes to midnight here, everybody, all right? I understand there may be very good reasons why people think this is a good idea to do speculatively, because it's going to take years and years and years to vacate 538 residents and demolish a building and build it, if it ever happens, right? So, all right, I give everybody credit for trying to work through and get things that they think will be beneficial in the future, but not like this, and not tonight, all right?
Look,
and I don't know how else to go through this, but quite frankly, it just doesn't make any sense, all right? So the benefit, will the $1 million, when will the city get the $1 million?
As with the other agreements, there is half is due at the issuance of a building permit, half, and then a quarter is issued at the issuance of a TCO, and then the final quarter is issued at a full certificate of occupancy.
Okay, let's stop there for a moment. So we're talking about issuance of a building permit for a 50-story building on a property. You'll get your first money for this when a building permit is issued for a 50-story building on a property that currently is, I presume, pretty occupied with 500 residential units. We're talking years and years and years before the city, taxpayers, or anybody else will see a penny of benefit from this. So maybe there is somebody that's getting a benefit out of this by this getting passed tonight, but I don't think it's any of you. I know that, right? I know you guys, there's nothing in it for you all to do that. I get that, right? There's nothing in it for the taxpayers, right? And people are angry and disgruntled. I'm disgruntled, that's why I'm here. I didn't just pick this thing. I picked it up, I told you why, because it was on an agenda with a matter that I did have an interest in, right? But this is just kind of galling to me. And I got to be honest with you, Councilwoman Weimer, I went to your meeting, right? And that was a really nice meeting you had. It was at Post 19, right? And you talked about openness and transparency and engaging and people coming to meetings and all. And I agree with that. I took that to heart, and I appreciate the fact that you gave me a forum and an opportunity to speak about the matter that I had a concern about, the synagogue matter, right? But I'm going to submit to you right now, this is an example of something that hasn't followed that path, and I don't think it's in the best interest of the town, and I don't think it's, to me, for whatever reason it's on, it was a good shot. You took a shot at it. If you had the planning board a few months ago, if the thing, this shouldn't be considered tonight. It should just pass, and if it's a good idea, it'll come back. In fact, if it's a good idea, I'll come back and support it. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Just to clarify one of the points, the planning board does not consider any of the financial terms, doesn't consider any of the economic benefits to that. It is therefore within the planning board to...
Mr. O'Connor, you got to wrap up.
I know. One thing. I didn't say they first of all, they do consider it. You consider everything when you're doing this, because it's a discussion. All these issues would have been brought out at a planning board. And I think possibly in a good way. I think if it was presented properly and in a timely way, it might have been something, okay, maybe for the future. But not this, not now. Right? And whoever the developer is or the owner, they can wait a few months. If this is a good idea, it'll come back.
Okay, thank you. And now, the attorney, you want to speak?
Yeah,
Mr.
I just
Maselli?
want to clarify a couple of things very quickly.
Explain who you are to the...
Michael Maselli, I'm here on behalf of the developer. We have been working on this for maybe close to a year now, so we've worked with the city professionals. That redevelopment plan that's in front of you that you introduced was vetted by your professional planners. I challenge you to find a requirement in the municipal land use law or the redevelopment and housing law that requires a planning board hearing at all. They're required to transmit a report, not to hold a public hearing on it. There's no notice for that day. There's no public input required. We do it that way, but the law doesn't require it, and that's really what we're here to talk about tonight, right? What's legal? It's legally before you tonight. You are the redevelopment entity, not the planning board. They had the chance to weigh in on this, and they didn't weigh in on it. Let's just talk about the redevelopment agreement very quickly. It would be, if the building is the size that is the maximum that's allowed here, it's going to be quite substantial. It's going to be 1,500 units or so. That would yield $3 to $4 million of contribution for use to address the issues down there. And to address the issues as we would be impacting them, right? And that's always what you're looking to do, is to mitigate your impacts through improvements, through contributions. So, okay, it might not happen in 10 years, but it might happen in 5. It might not be 50 stories, it might be 20. The market will tell us what is available down there. And so why not put it in the redevelopment agreement that we'll make that contribution when it comes time? Because when it comes time, we're going to need that money to make the park nicer, to make the roads better, to make sure the pipes can handle what's coming out of the building. So this wasn't rushed. This has been done at a deliberate pace. It was introduced in January, and February came, and March came, and April came, and May came, and June came, and the planning board didn't act. So here we are. It's a good project. It's a long-term planning project. It's an aspirational project, and I would ask that the council do what it's legally entitled to do tonight and to vote yes on this and the redevelopment agreement, because again, you heard not only the monetary contribution, this will be the first project that I'm aware of anyway, that will commit to making a percentage of their units workforce housing. And I know that's been something near and dear to most of your hearts, Councilman Carroll. I know that you have mentioned that endlessly, and I always told you there would be opportunity at the right size project. This is the right size project. So we're, incremental steps, right? We're getting there. We're getting to where Bayonne is going to be able to do all those things, all under one project. When something's like this, you can do it. So we did. It's the first one. I just would urge you to vote yes. Thank you.
I am curious.
Yeah.
This allowance for that workforce housing is in the redevelopment plan, and it's stated regardless of the size of the structure.
Yes.
So if in the next administration, they argue you down to 5 stories,
Yeah.
you are still legally bound to include what percentage of workforce housing?
5%.
5%.
Doesn't matter what size the project is, we're going to do 5% across the board.
Councilman Carroll, it's the agreement, not the plan.
Right, right, it's a redevelopment agreement, and that's, part of the redevelopment suite of tools, right, that you get to use to put together a financial package that works for the developer, that works for the community, and works for the things that are important to us. What's important to the city? Streets, infrastructure, pipes, parks, All those things we've accounted for. We did do a traffic study. We did one. This is before you started to implement traffic, the traffic signal, right? Before you started to do that. So we took that into consideration. There were recommendations that were made that we could still make to improve traffic down there pretty inexpensively right now. But if there's a light, it's going to make it better. And if we're going to contribute to the problem, we're going to pay to help for that problem. And so, like I said, this was thought of, this was planned out, this was vetted, and it deserves approval. It shouldn't have waited from January to now. Unfortunately, I have very little control over anything in life, including whether the planning board has a quorum. So we're here through no fault of mine, through no fault of, I think anybody's. I think circumstances dictated some things, and I just would hate to see something that we took so much time and effort to get it right and to provide so much that it would die on the vine here. Thank you.
Mr. Maselli, does that plan, I do know that there has a previous building of a like magnitude has already been approved.
Multiple previous buildings.
Multiple, okay.
Yeah, it's a new world down there. It's
all of them.
Yeah, it's a lot.
However, does that include a requirement for the construction of new roads or entry and exit? I mean, anybody can see that, the congestion there is already fairly significant.
Mm-hmm.
Does that plan include additional entry, exits, roads, bridges, something of that nature that would help to alleviate?
Our plan or the plan
Yeah,
that was approved previously?
Your plan.
Our plan is giving money so that the city can spend it on
Is
those
the
connections. If they want to connect to the 40th Street bridge, when you come over the bridge, if they want to make that a connection that you can drive straight into this area, I think that's something that's on the long-term horizon. You can use the money for what you want. You can use it for a park improvement. There's a park across the street. You can make that nicer. It's a significant amount of money for you to look at and say, what impacts does this cause? And where do we want to allocate our resources? So,
And speaking of impacts, was there a traffic study?
yes.
And what did the
It said
traffic
that
study-
all the other intersections, except for the infamous one at Goldsboro, operated at acceptable levels of service and wouldn't go into non-acceptable levels of service because of our project. So Goldsboro needed some help. We recommended, I think there are lanes where you can pull in and maybe park, I'm not sure, but we basically said if you get rid of those, that relieves that condition pretty inexpensively. It relieves it, it doesn't get rid of it, but a traffic light will fix the problem, I think. I mean, we didn't run that number because we didn't know if the traffic light was going to be real. But with the money we're giving, you can pay for two traffic lights.
The study's been paid for already, so it's...
Okay, so it's on the way. So like I said, all the other intersections checked out at acceptable levels of service, pre-build, post-build. And we could have relieved the condition pretty inexpensively without a traffic signal. I'm glad to hear there'll be a traffic signal, and if our project is built before that signal comes in, you can use that money towards that traffic signal. If not, you can use it for something else. Maybe we'll need a traffic signal somewhere else one day, but you'll have money to do that. Thank you.
We got several people that want to
Yep, go
speak. Yeah, Ms. Mack?
Michael has some comments also. You want to have him first?
Okay, that's fine. There's several people who had their hand raised, so I didn't know if you wanted to speak first because
Did
it
you want
might
to speak
be
first?
pertinent to what
Yeah.
they want to say.
Maybe.
You're the professional. Yeah.
I'm perplexed. Good evening, everybody. How are you? Okay, so let's start. I'd like to know how much money is in the agreement to pay for these things, who got the traffic study. I've never seen it. I've never been in a meeting on this project. It was done by another consultant, and I expected that I would review it at planning board, which the meetings, as you all know, is no fault to Mr. Maselli. The meetings haven't happened, but I do have a few things to put on the record.
The traffic report was provided to the city consulting planner, who prepared the redevelopment plan that's in front of you.
And who was that?
Barbara Elin, I believe.
Elon, did she share it with anybody in the city, like
I don't know.
the city planner?
I don't know. I don't know who, I know Mr. Opal probably got a copy of it as the attorney, but I don't know if anyone else did. I was asked to share it with Ms. Elin, and I did.
Yes, and Ms. Elon, who's an excellent planner, did not share it with the city planner, and I've gone through this with the planning board. Irregardless of the fact that we have 4 consulting planners, the planning board still thinks the city planner is responsible for the planning items. And I don't complain about that. She's an excellent planner, but don't anybody sit there and say that your city planner was aware of some of the things in this, which is why I would have some comments tonight. I'm not saying it shouldn't go forward, but I do have some comments to make on the fact that it is going forward, which you can hear or not.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
give us your comments. We'd like
So I
to hear
don't, that was the only question.
Oh, you asked about the money, right?
Yeah, how much money?
It's going to be between $3 and $4 million.
Okay, thank you. All right, so to get to it, about 2 years ago, the planning board did, well, let's go back. I have been working with you, the council, on MOTB for a very long time. I've been involved with MOTB for 26 years, and I have an excellent respect for all of you for the great work that you've tried to do at MOTB as it's developed. You may know, and this side of the aisle knows, we've had even more problems recently with Royal Caribbean. There's been a lot of problems. I've been working with Chief Skirbo and the police, the Port Authority Police, and the New Jersey Department of Transportation on trying to get solutions, now that we have Pulaski Street and we have the traffic. So it's been a problem for the residents. But I have to say this council has been excellent in trying to come up with solutions there. But 2 years ago when we had, and you've heard this before too, we had our first 50-story building proposed by the Guptas at the base, and one of the Gupta brothers, respect them both, argued that they didn't need highway access permits. The city provided them with information to contact DOT. It's been 2 years. They never came back and said they didn't need the permits, and to the contrary, we've had to get permits for Costco and for us for amendments to our plan so we can do more building down there. So when we say that there's a traffic study that was done, I just asked Mr. Opel, who also is an excellent attorney, because he's working on KRE, which, something that should have been before the planning board also. And he went back and made sure that they put in that they have to have a requirement for the highway access permit. And I just turned around and said, is the highway access permit requirement, which kind of controls the world down there, in it, and they don't know. I mean, not that he doesn't know, but I haven't seen the agreement. So I would ask if you adopt the redevelopment plan, let that go forward, or if you adopt the redevelopment agreement, you at least condition it that they have to have a highway access permit, because without that, we're totally going nowhere. The other thing that I really am concerned about is that if it had gone, not your fault, I have never seen us not have 4 planning board meetings. We always had one because of weather, maybe. We had snow in February, but so to say that everybody's right out here legally, if you don't get it within 45 days, it basically is approved, but that's really not the intent. The intent is if the planning board doesn't take action, for whatever reason, not having 4 planning board meetings, I go back through the annals of history and say that hasn't occurred, and for whatever reason.
Well, that's why when we spoke about it, we could all speculate, but we'll leave it at that.
But it goes back to legal and intent. This is the most responsible council I've ever seen. It wasn't your fault that the planning board didn't meet, but that doesn't mean you wouldn't care and you have a choice to move forward or not. And I'm not suggesting you not move forward. I'm just saying, and I'd like to know, see, when a redevelopment plan comes before the planning board, you would get the professionals. Did Andy Reichel from Waterman, who is the MOTB plant engineer for 25 years, did he say that it was okay? Did he even see the plan? Because as I said, I got it off the internet, but that's okay. But Mr. Armstrong's here. Mr. Armstrong is the municipal engineer, and he is also, I believe as of this week, the director of municipal services. Did he say that the water and sewer down there, because that was brought up also, not picking on Mr. Gupta, the Guptas, but those issues were raised as to whether there was capacity for water and sewer. And so you can say, okay, you're going to resolve it at site plan, you're going to look at it in the future, but I'd feel very comfortable if John Armstrong's here and told me that, yeah, somebody looked at it. I don't look at everything. I'm I'm not, I don't have to look at everything. But those questions were raised at planning board before, and I think they were raised at the council when we were doing the former buildings down there. So again, I'm not saying I don't think this should move forward, but I'm hoping that somebody has some sort of, ask Mr. Armstrong, I would feel comfortable if somebody said that, because you're saying, okay, there's $3 million to put in a traffic light or to do this, that, or the other thing. Is that even going to be enough? I don't know, and maybe that's enough. And then my favorite, I am the municipal housing liaison. So the affordable housing program is under my purview, and I happen to know that this property is the former Trammell Crow property, which was the first buildings that were made down on Motby before the market broke, and they built the buildings, but it had an affordable housing obligation, and that obligation was reworked over time to say that those buildings, those units that were supposed to be affordable housing only remain until the person moves out, and then they no longer become affordable housing units. So I would have thought that if somebody was doing this, they would have had whoever, their administrative agent, talk to the city about, there's still units down there that are quote-unquote affordable, and like, what is the impact of that agreement on the fact that they're now going to, sounds like they're going to replace the buildings and put up 50-story buildings. So does that wipe out the obligation, or has it been moved over? And as Councilman Carroll knows, I'm all for workforce housing. I'm all for moving that, but is the workforce housing going to also fulfill the affordable housing obligation? So I would say that I will not be here to discuss this issue with you in the future, but I just hope that you put enough provisos in it to, move forward. But if you could do it real basic, to be continued or to be looked at in the future, I think that would protect you. Not you, you don't need protection, but it would protect the project moving forward. And again, I really would like to hear Mr. Armstrong say, just tell me that he looked at it and there is enough water and sewer capacity, or that a line could be put in to also protect that. Because I was here, I think Mr. Nichols is in the audience too, and I think it was when we were doing that other project at Motby that he said that we might be at capacity and we should make some provisions. So I think with 3 provisions, figure out, take protections for the affordable housing component, take protections for the water and sewer and the traffic by meeting the HAP. I wouldn't have a problem, but right now I'm a little concerned.
I guess I'd like to know that as well,
Yeah.
Mr. Armstrong, and the attorney.
You just got stuck because we didn't have planning board. I mean, I feel
And
bad.
Mr. Nichols, and then are we aware, does this agreement include the highway access permit requirement? Do we know that or not?
I will say this.
Mr.
There has been,
gotta
Council
ask
President, sorry.
to speak.
May
Don't
I
just
speak?
come up and
Thank you.
speak.
May I speak?
Yes.
Thank you. This issue with the highway access permit has been percolating a long time, and there are opinions all over the map. If it's legally required, we have to get it. It's an outside agency approval. And if our building impacts the infrastructure in a way that requires upgrades, we got to make them.
Okay, let's hear from Mr.
No, I'm just,
Nichols.
I know, but
And
we're,
if you want to
but,
come up and speak, I'll give you another turn. to
thank
come
you.
up and
We're just
speak.
muddying the waters on things that are not part of this process. Those are part of a separate process.
Okay, Mr. Maselli. Mr. Nichols, can you come up, please, and explain?
Hello, Joseph Nichols from McManaman, Scotland, Bauman. I also have been the attorney for the Utility Authority, and I work on utility matters. I'm sorry, you have to excuse my voice. I have a medical condition that makes it difficult. But I can say that 1,000 additional units at 300 gallons per day, that has not been looked at as to whether that can be supplied there. And remember, there are other developments there. I believe that up to 4,000 other units have been approved in a general redevelopment plan, okay, that they haven't been built yet, but there's one water line that serves that premise. Now, there are new sewer lines that pump the sewage from the peninsula, but I don't know if it's even been looked at as to whether where the sewer line exits into, whether that can handle the capacity. So any approval, and the attorneys that spoke before me are both correct, that you would need to condition, any water and sewer connections on there being sufficient capacity in the system. And that's a problem, not only for this development, but for development all throughout town. Sorry.
Ms. Villado?
Thank you, Council. I'm coming here as
State your name.
Maria Villado, 767 Avenue A, Bayonne, New Jersey. I'm coming here as a member of the Planning Board. I know haven't had 4 meetings. I was available for the previous 3. This last one, I apologize. I had a prior commitment since they changed the date from a normal Tuesday meeting to a Monday meeting. This project, the reason I'm here is because these are the type of projects that really, when they come before the Planning Board, all the professionals that the city hires ask poignant questions about the validity of the project to the city and how it fits into the main project, right? So I believe that this should be decided, go through the normal process, right? Go to the Planning Board first, listen to it through the Planning Board, all the questions that are asked, and then come to counseling, the great job that you guys do in answering and asking the questions that we didn't ask, or reviewing what comments came from the Planning Board and saying, hey, we need to keep this, or this is fine, we don't need to do that. And it should go through the normal process. It's a big building. And this is one of the ones that we should really have the full process. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mike?
Mike Persigno, 42 West 23rd, Bayonne. Now, if I'm correct, I've been at the planning board meetings, and I've sat at a planning board meeting when they discussed, and it was passed, 4 50-story towers across from Costco. I believe that was passed.
In the past, this is a different property.
I know, but I'm correct. You have 4 50-story towers already on the chart that can be built right across from Costco. That's been passed already. Now, I was at the meetings and it cleared. Now, I was also at the meeting when they discussed the construction, tearing down new buildings at the Montpelier. And I even raised, I said, what you're talking about tearing down, they're 10 years old, I believe I was told. So that's what they were doing. So I guess these are the buildings that they did clear for the demolition out there. And so,
And the buildings are still standing right now.
yes, they are, but they have to be taken down.
Yeah.
Because I was at the meeting when they got clearance for them to be taken down. And I was like, why are they doing this? They've already taken things down when we keep building things there. But anyway, so yes, they're taking down buildings that are there and occupied to put up another 50-story that they've already cleared for 50 stories. And I'm just, a little bit confused, but obviously from listening to all this, it's in your power, you can stop it. And it's interesting that if there's no planning board, that the city can pass all these, it's in your lap. So it's interesting that, it's very important, you can see from tonight's discussion, to have planning board meetings, because now this has turned into a planning board meeting. So, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I
You have
give,
to name-
oh,
your
Dawn
name and
Boudmere.
address, please. Yeah.
You need to know where I live?
Yeah.
34 West 26th Street. Now, Can I speak on another matter, because I have to leave?
No, we have to do this at hand. I got several other people that want to speak about the same issue. So if you want to say something about 01?
No, I really want to say something on 08.
No, I'm sorry. You cannot do that right now.
Okay.
I cannot go out of order. I'm very sorry.
Okay.
I have to keep the order. I apologize.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, in the back? Please
Sorry.
state your name and address.
My name is Jenna Reddick. I live on 128 West 55th Street. Also adding on to Bayonne having 80,000 residents and the things about the water pipe and everything, there's only one and whatever. That's also a really big concern because one of my friends told me the other day that, Bayonne's only a 3-mile town. And God forbid something happened along the lines of Hurricane Sandy or Irene, there's only 2 ways out of Bayonne. If there's so many people here right now, and like he said, it takes 45 minutes to get through Jersey City now, and it used to be 10. All these people trying to evacuate because it's something very big, you can't stay here. We're surrounded by water, we're peninsula. And when I heard that, I was like shocked, because that is a big concern. If something happens that's environmentally damaging and people's lives are at risk, that's another concern. There's so many buildings being built, but I know he's saying the money could be put through into updating or anything with the infrastructure, but climate change is happening. Sea levels are rising all the time. We already see the weather being weird. There's a drought in New Jersey. These things have to be considered now, not 10, 20, or even 5. There's too much going on in 5 years. That's something that has to be considered, I think. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Perry?
Good evening, Gene Perry, 77A Hobart Avenue, Bayonne. A couple of things, I'm going to, quick bullet points. The MOPI is under the master plan from 2010 to be redeveloped. I think we redeveloped it enough for now. We've mentioned that there is no efficient water. We have, young lady just spoke about getting out of town. The Newark Bay extension is now on hold again. How are we going to get out of town with another 1,000 residents living on this property? Next question is there a tax abatement on this property currently? And is it being carried over to the new buildings? So I didn't see the plan until an hour ago, so I haven't had time to read it.
Of course there is.
Is there a pilot?
So I believe there is an agreement, but I don't think it could be brought over to new.
No, because under the financial agreement that was approved for that project, it was for that one specific project of, redevelopment, so that 500 units, that's all what, those buildings can, pay for those 500 units on the original project, so.
Any additional pilot?
Any additional
would have
pilot
to be
goes to,
something new
would have to be
apply for.
a new financial agreement considered by the council or conventional taxes.
And Director Skillender, what about, and I apologize, Mr. Perry, are you through? Would you?
No, you're fine.
Do you mind? Thank you. What about the requirement, the existing requirement for the affordable housing that is there? I know, I wasn't aware of that, and I don't know if does the existing requirement for affordable housing exceed what the new development is offering? Or is it a lesser requirement?
On that, I don't know on the existing, requirement for affordable housing, but I don't believe the election was counted in this round of, for the affordable housing plan. I don't believe that was mentioned as one of the buildings on the fourth plan.
So you want to?
This stuff is so old, Joe, you haven't.
Yeah, it was in the affordable housing plan way back when.
Yeah,
I know
no,
that.
so this is something only people who have been here would know. The election legally requested 12 years ago, 15 years ago, that they be relieved of their affordable housing unit thing, and there was a contract between the city and them on that. So it wouldn't show up now, but the way the arrangement is that anybody who lives there now, people live there for $800. If that person leaves, that unit becomes market rate.
So it's like decontrolled, like the rent
Yeah,
control.
so what I'm saying to you is that 2 or 3 times a year, the city gets approached by somebody who lives there. They go up 4%, the rate increase and stuff like that, and something will happen, and then the city will get approached, I'll get approached, and blah, 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 blah. So I'm saying it's unexpected consequences, that there are units there now. Tomorrow I could tell you how many, I don't know, 40, 50 left of it. It was larger in the beginning. And with this new redevelopment plan and this new agreement, well, I guess you would just build 50-story buildings, and so then all the units would be gone, and those affordable units would be gone that the city committed to before. And again, I'm not saying anybody's doing anything wrong, but somebody doesn't know what's happening, and therefore they're not considering it, and therefore you might have handicapped people, veterans. I mean, I could show you my file. I would work with Jay as each case came in. I'm just saying, have these issues been reviewed? And since it's pretty clear I haven't been involved, that I'm just saying I would like I'm not opposed to the project. I'm just saying there are some other elements that, and I will write a transition memo that includes this, just so that somebody can consider it, because we are not unkind people in Bayonne.
Mr. Perry, you want to, let Mr. Perry finish his...
One of the comments we've been told is a $3 to $4 million community to give back that we're going to use for traffic lights. Why are we paying for their development and their traffic studies or the traffic patterns? The $3 to $4 million should go to a school or a park, not 2 traffic lights. Sorry. I'm asking that we put this back before the planning board. It was mentioned earlier that the council can legally vote on this, but morally should use. Have a good evening.
Okay, Mr. Maselli, I'm going to let you speak one more time.
Thank you, and I apologize for jumping up before.
And please make it quick.
Yeah, very quick, just to go through. So the capacity issue is looked at, just so everyone's clear. Before we can build a building, we have to have the city sign off and say there's water capacity. DEP needs to get that from the city, and DEP signs off on that. So the capacity issue, if it's an issue, we will have to address, and we will not be able to build this building with a capacity issue. That I can guarantee you, all right? Existing affordable units, we're not knocking down all of these buildings. We might have to clip a corner of one building, but we're putting it where, if you look at the redevelopment plan, it's got a graphic. It shows you where we're putting it, these buildings. They're not in areas that will appreciably change what's there today. The affordable agreement will continue to be the affordable agreement on the existing buildings. It is a deregulation scheme, right? So, but then the new buildings, the towers, will have to have the 5% workforce set aside, and that is regardless of size. A young lady mentioned that there were, she worried about rising storms, and we all lived through Sandy, so we know. These buildings will be built in accordance with the new flood hazard regulations and to be storm resilient in a way that many of the buildings at the base right now are not. So that was taken into consideration. We don't have a pilot. We would need another one if we were to proceed in that manner. And if you want to use the money for schools, use the money for schools. I just said the traffic signals because I know that that's been something that for the past year or so we've been kicking around in the chambers here. And, you can...
But the city, that money is earmarked for 4 or 5 different things.
You can, if you want to add schools...
Traffic improvements was one of them, but I understand...
If you want to...
The city would exercise its option on that.
Absolutely. And the redevelopment agreement, as we said before, is on later on in the agenda. If you want to make us tack schools onto that list of things that you can spend the money on, by all means. I think that's great, if that's something you want to do. If it's not, don't. We'd like to give back to the community and give it, and allow the elected officials to choose where it should go, because they're in a better position to respond to local needs than we are as developers, right? So you know what you need. You tell us what you want in there. We're going to make a contribution, and you spend it the way you see fit, or the next council, or the council after that, or whoever's in charge. So
Okay, let's wrap
that's it.
this up now.
Yep, thank you.
Okay. Omar, you're the last person to speak.
Yeah, I'll keep it really brief. Omar Al-Garhi, 100 Avenue G. So he mentioned that they may be building it with the other existing units. Was that the case? Because, forgive me, I didn't review the whole redevelopment plan. And the other thing is the school impact. Did we do a school impact test just because it may impact schools with an additional, I don't know how many units, so that's just my concern. Thank you.
Yes or no? Was there a study done?
No, that's, we definitely submit financial agreements and our site plan.
What about parking?
Yeah.
What
Just
about
answer that
parking?
one question, please.
What about parking?
No, he's asking what I'm, okay. Council President, what's your question to me?
The question that Mr. Elgari just asked about.
School impact, right.
School
So,
impact.
so because at this point it's still in the planning process, no, we did not do that. We do that as part of the site plan application when we submit an environmental impact statement. That goes in that analysis. Also, if we do come in for a pilot, NW Financial prepares a very in-depth analysis of school impacts. So you know, assuming NW Financial or some other firm does an application, considers an application for a pilot, that information will be in front of the council before any financial relief is given or before a site plan approval is even given, so.
All right, thank you very much. Please do not yell out from your seat.
We already talked about that.
Okay, with no other speakers, no protest against, objections to, or statements?
I object.
Thank you. Or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
So move.
And second? To close the hearing. And on a motion to close, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And a resolution ordering final passage. So we're done with that. Second?
Yeah, I think we should table it and let it go to the planning board, let the next council decide what they want to do. There's been a lot of questions that cannot be answered right now that are very, very important. And if anybody disagrees with me, please speak on the microphone if you disagree with me.
So
I don't disagree.
there's a motion on the table to withdraw this resolution for passage. Who would second?
I made the motion, right? So
Council President made the motion. You're not tabling, you're withdrawing. And on that resolution, Mr. Booker.
Before I cast my vote, listen, there's been a lot of questions and concerns with this project. We worked very hard on this project, and I think that someone made a statement a couple of times that this council has been one of the most responsible councils that they've ever worked with, and I'm going to agree with them on that. So, I mean, responding to the public and the concerns, I'm hoping, okay, we put a lot of work on this project. And I feel very strongly for this project. I'm hoping that the next administration takes in some of the same considerations of the work that we put into this project, okay, and not just let it fall by the wayside. So on my vote, I vote aye.
Mr. Carroll?
It pains me because there was a workforce housing inclusion in this, but there are too many questions. I'll embarrass my future wife when it comes to kids in school systems, and I've seen plans come forward with a 10-story building, says it's only going to produce 4 kids for the classroom, and I'm one guy living in a 2-family house. I'm trying to have 4. So, I can't bring myself to put it forward. The new council needs to look at this, and I make no qualms about it. We've acted as the planning board for years because the planning board is the board of yes. Every time they've okayed a plan I thought was lunacy, we've had to deal with it here and ask these questions, but there are simply too many questions tonight, and we need more time to go over it. So I again pray that the new council will keep an eye towards including that workforce set aside in every building and make my dream come true. I can tell you it's a hard battle to win, but it's worth fighting. So I vote no. I'm sorry, I vote aye to table it.
Withdraw. Mr. Perez.
It was explained here, I mean, this thing, they worked very hard to get this. There's 4 meetings that were supposed to be taken, and they were not there. I mean, I don't blame the developer, and it was explained by Mr. Maselli very articulately. And I also heard other people say other negative, but this is the first one that has the workforce opportunity 5%. That's 100 units for people. I mean, I was satisfied that it would be 75? Oh, okay. All right. I disregard, 75. This would be the first 175, and this will be helping our community. I was satisfied with Mr. Maselli, what he said, and I was satisfied with a lot of things that was said here. I don't look at this negative, no positive, but I'm hoping that the future council that's coming in has an open mind. And because I was very disappointed that the planning board did not meet, that all of a sudden they came in, they got, oh, I had to go here, I got to go there. And before you know it, this poor thing was just hanging there. They would have heard this, they would have heard everything would have been there, but they decided not to attend, so they didn't have a quorum, therefore, there was no meeting, and this got bypassed. So I'm voting no on it.
No to table, to withdraw.
No to table.
Okay.
Ms. Weimer?
I too am very torn on this because we did put in a tremendous amount of requests and restrictions in working with Director Skillender and this developer to make that project work. It was and has always been represented to me that the city's intent in the plan to develop that area was to do so in a way that would place those buildings that were meant to be of a greater magnitude in that area, create something of a skyline. And to the best of my knowledge, and again, as I've been told, it was the intent of the city and has been for prior administrations from several to do that in that area. So we placed an awful lot of restrictions and requirements on this developer that has spent an awful lot of time and money in doing so to meet the requirements that this city put forth. But I am concerned that the planning board has not reviewed it and that there are a tremendous amount of unknowns, including the points that our city planner has brought forth with regards to the highway access permits, as well as the allocation of affordable housing to be inclusive of those that are there now, in addition to the 5% that would be allocated in the future. I don't know if that requirement will remain. I don't know if it's included in the plan. I don't know if the city, if the zoning and planning board would review that anyway. Nevertheless, I do think there are a tremendous amount of unknowns, and rather than simply deny the passing of this, I do think the most reasonable and the fairest thing to all parties would be to table it and allow for it to take its process, as Ms. Velarde said, and have it properly vetted through the planning board. So I vote aye.
Mr. La Palusa?
I was really excited about the 5% workforce housing. It's something that myself and Mr. Carroll have been working on for a while. The project itself looked like a nice project, but when our professionals come up and pose questions, that's something that we have to take very serious, and I take it very serious, and that's why I'm in favor of withdrawing this.
Okay. Ordinance has been withdrawn. 02 is an ordinance of the City of Bayonne in the County of Hudson, New Jersey, creating a special improvement district for the peninsula at the Bayonne Harbor, which was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held April 15th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin boards required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for a final passage following a public hearing at the meeting of May 13th, and was postponed to this meeting of June 17th is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution giving the ordinance second reading is moved by the council president. Mr. Carroll, will you second? On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll? Mr. Perez? Ms. Weimer? Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance of the City of Bayonne in the County of Hudson, New Jersey, creating a special improvement district for the peninsula at Bayonne Harbor. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak.
Yes.
Good evening, Council. Joe Papero from Porzio, Bromberg, and Newman on behalf of Centerpoint Pulaski LLC, the owner of 30 Pulaski Street, Block 397, Lot 1. We are here again this evening. We appeared before you at the introduction, or at the originally scheduled date for this ordinance to be acted upon was May 13th. And we expressed our concerns about the inclusion of this industrial property in the proposed special improvement district. We had a dialogue with council as to the reasons why. We feel that this special improvement district will put an undue burden on the industrial property owner. Centerpoint, Mr. Nenner's here again to speak to that. The ordinance was tabled at your May 13th meeting so we could have an opportunity to share our data with Mr. Opel and Director Skillender, which we did. We supplied them with the tax data that we were referencing at your May meeting. We also supplied them with some reasoning by way of email as to our concern that an industrial property such as 30 Pulaski really won't receive any benefits from being included in a special improvement district in this area. Mr. Nenner will go into that in a second. Again, this additional assessment will provide a further impediment to Centerpoint to be competitive with its neighbors across the street in Jersey City for industrial space. They're already having difficult time attracting industrial tenants. So again, we supplied Director Skillender and Mr. Opel with some information regarding the tax disparity between the city of Bayonne and Jersey City for similarly situated industrial properties. We also noted that, in our opinion, this ordinance treats industrial properties disparately. There are an industrial corridor on Hook Road that was not included, and to include this property with more residential mixed-use properties seems to be misplaced. So, Mr. Nenner.
Thank you, Joe. Good evening. My name is David Nenner, and I'm the Senior Vice President of Asset Management for Centerpoint Properties, owner of a 55-year-old vacant industrial building at 3100 Pulaski Street in Bayonne. I'm attending this evening to respectfully request that the city consider removing 30 Pulaski Street from the proposed special improvement district to be created by Ordinance 2. Centerpoint Properties greatly values our partnership with the City of Bayonne, and we understand the intent behind the district to enhance the community. Our goal is to support Bayonne's growth while ensuring the continued viability of industrial property such as ours. During the May 13th, May 26th council meeting, I expressed concerns regarding the inclusion of our property in the proposed district, and I'd like to further clarify these concerns, which fall into three main categories as I see it. First, financial impact. Taxes in Bayonne have already placed us at a disadvantage relative to similar industrial properties located in Jersey City directly across the street. The additional fees and costs associated with the proposed district would exacerbate this disparity and further reduce our competitiveness. We have provided the city with an analysis illustrating the tax differences and leasing rates, showing that competing properties in Jersey City pay less in taxes while charging more in rent. I'll move on to practical considerations. Centerpoint will not realize the typical benefits associated with the special improvement districts due to the industrial nature of our property and its location. The targeted properties in the ordinance, according to the paragraph 3B, reference multi-tenant residential buildings, commercial establishments, offices, and four-family homes or greater. The purposes as outlined in paragraph 4, such as increasing safety and attractiveness for visitors, organizing special events, and providing decorative lighting seem inconsistent with industrial uses for our property. Finally, I'll touch on legal and equity concerns. The proposed district does not include the Hook Road Industrial Corridor, raising concerns of disparate treatment and potential arbitrariness. This selective inclusion further subjects Ordinance 2 to scrutiny. We appreciate the city's vision for the peninsula and Bayonne Harbor and the broader community, and we hope our concerns can be considered as part of the ongoing process. I would personally welcome the opportunity to discuss these matters further in person, and I appreciate your consideration of our concerns. So to summarize, we respectfully request that 3100 Pulaski Street be removed from the proposed district under Ordinance 2. I look forward to continuing our positive relationship and supporting Bayonne's future development.
So there's no way for us to remove one property out of this? After consulting with our legal team? We're willing to table this so you could discuss with the professionals, and there'll be a new council here to discuss that. And if they do propose that, it would be a whole new council at that point. So I'll make a motion to table this.
Second. Hold on, you have to close the hearing first.
Okay, sorry.
You have another speaker.
So, Michael O'Connor, 265 Avenue A, Bayonne, New Jersey. Now, Centerpoint is a multi-billion-dollar industrial company with probably over 100 different warehouses around the country in all different types of locations. Some of them are adjacent to urban areas. And so I think, you know, respectfully, quite frankly, I understand what the concerns are for the it's a REIT, is it a REIT? Is it a real estate investment
Mike,
trust?
what's your point? 'Cause it starts-
Okay, my point is that there are benefits to including this property in the special improvement district, particularly since this warehouse.
But he doesn't want to be included in the district.
I understand that, but for what I'm trying to say is, for the larger whole, sometimes everybody doesn't want to be included for monetary reasons, but quite frankly, improvements to Pulaski Street, including pedestrian improvements for people that are working and walking back and forth to work there, that does occur, and it is not an unreasonable thing to ask the property owner to bear some of those costs.
I agree.
So I'm not asking you guys to.
We're doing what you
Yeah,
originally
yeah,
said.
I agree with you.
We're letting the new council.
I agree with you.
deal
All right,
with this.
thank you so much, guys.
And just finally, the Centerpoint pays a significant amount of taxes, which actually go to take care of the very things that Mr. O'Connor identified. That's what the property taxes are for.
Okay, that's what property taxes.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
Motion.
Second.
On the motion to close, Mr. Booker. Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And the council president has made a motion to withdraw adoption. May I have a second?
Second.
On that motion and resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
03 is an ordinance amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances, Chapter 24, Water and Sewer, which was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held May 13th, was published in the Bergen Record, and posted on the bulletin boards required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of June 17th, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And the resolution giving the ordinance second reading is moved by Councilmember Booker. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances, Chapter 24, Water and Sewer Services. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak.
Yes, sir.
This is about the water and sewer.
Yeah, this is our
Correct.
long-term control plan.
What was that?
Yeah, it's about water and sewer, yes.
Okay, okay.
yes.
I'm Steve McDonald, 179 West 31st Street. I have a problem with the water sewer. I live alone. I had last bill about 300 cubic feet of water usage. The problem is that water, that much water and sewage should be about, say, $50, $60 total. But Veolia has a minimum water charge fee, and they have a minimum sewage charge fee. Those minimums are based on the size of the valve, and of course, I have the
Size of
small,
the
I have the
pipe,
small
right.
residential. And what happens, their minimum keeps rising, rising, rising. And now, where my bill should be around, say, $50, $60, it's $180. Because I'm paying for thousands of gallons of water that I didn't use.
Right. But, sir, I would call our municipal services department about your bill and see if they can be the liaison between you and Veolia, because this is talking about a whole different plan right now.
Okay.
Please address it. I've
Yeah.
been doing it for 2 years
Yeah.
with zero effect,
Yeah.
zero. Veolia
Yeah.
says stop
Excuse
the
me, do
city.
not call
You
out
say
from
they
your
won't return
seat.
the calls.
Do not, sir.
We talked about that.
Sir, I would call,
Don't-
I would,
it's you.
not only
It's
Veolia,
you.
but our municipal services who takes care of water, and maybe they can advise you, maybe there's a way to change the pipe as well.
No, it's a problem, the basic problem is they're charging me for thousands of gallons of water I didn't use, and they're charging me sewerage
Okay.
on that water that I didn't use. Now, this is just wrong. Okay?
But please call our municipal services
Okay.
and let them know.
Thank you.
They
Thank you.
don't answer the call.
Thank you. Please do not call out from your seat.
We talked about that already.
Anyone else? No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close? On the motion to close, Mr. Booker. He's out.
Motion to close on you, Lloyd.
On 03.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll? Aye. Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer? Aye. Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
And a resolution ordering final passage.
Move it.
And on the resolution for final passage, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
04, we have a motion to withdraw. It's moved by Councilmember Carroll. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
05, we have a motion moved by the council president to withdraw consideration, seconded by Mr. Perez. On the motion to withdraw, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
06 has a motion to withdraw, is moved by the council president. Mr. Booker, will you second? Second. On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
07 also has a motion for withdrawal. It's moved by the council president. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
08 is an ordinance authorizing the encroachment agreement with J. Parr Realty LLC and PKD LLC for the property located at 29-29, 35 and 37 West 25th Street, which is identified as Block 183, Lots 5, 6, and 8.01 as shown on the official tax map. It was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held May 13th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin boards required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of June 17th, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution moved by Councilmember Perez, giving the ordinance second reading. Mr. Booker, will you second? On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance authorizing the encroachment agreement with J. Parr Realty LLC, PKD LLC, for the property located at 29-29, 35 and 37 West 25th Street, which is identified as Block 183, Lots 5, 6, and 8.01, as shown on the official tax map. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
Second.
And on the motion to close, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And a resolution ordering final passage.
Move it.
And on the resolution for final passage, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
09 is an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 35. Actually, that one has a motion for withdrawal also. It's moved by Councilmember Perez. Mr. La Palusa, will you second?
Second.
09. And on the resolution for withdrawal, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
010 has a motion for withdrawal. It's moved by the council president. Mr. Carroll, will you second?
Second.
And on the motion for withdrawal, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
011 is an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 7 Traffic, which was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held on May 13th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin board as required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of June 17th, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution giving the ordinance second reading is moved by the council president. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
And on the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Okay. Second reading is by title, an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 7 Traffic. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. No protests against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
Move it.
On the motion to close, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And a resolution ordering final passage.
Move it.
Second.
And on the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
012 is also an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 7 Traffic, which was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held May 13th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin boards required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of June 17th, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution giving the ordinance second reading is moved by Councilmember Perez. Mr. Booker, will you second? And on that resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And second reading is by title, an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 7 Traffic. It's for one restricted parking zone. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
Move it.
On the motion to close, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And a resolution ordering final passage.
Move it.
Second.
And on the motion for final passage, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
13 is also an ordinance amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances of the City of Bayonne, Chapter 7, Traffic, and it's for a loading zone. It should read East 23rd Street, not 25th, and which was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held May 13th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin boards required by law, with notice that it would be considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of June 17th, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution moved by the council president, giving the ordinance second reading. Mr. Booker, will you second? Second. And on that resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances of the City of Bayonne, Chapter 7, Traffic. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. No protests against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
Move it.
On the motion to close, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And a resolution ordering final passage.
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
014 is a motion to withdraw, and it's moved by the council president. Mr. Carroll, will you second?
Second.
On that motion to withdraw, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Our first speaker is Ms. Mattis. Second speaker is Mr. Perry.
Gene Perry, 77A Hobart Avenue. I just have a quick question for the council. I spoke to Ms. Russo on this matter about a week or two ago, tried finding it online. Was there any amendment to the noise ordinance with the construction sites that they're allowed to operate past 7 p.m. in the evening? Because recently, there was a site operating at 7:30 at night, causing traffic jams. And I don't think it's fair to the residents that after 7 o'clock at night, these sites are still working, no matter what the case is. So I'm just curious, because there were police there, so I'm guessing the city knew about it.
You want to answer? Go ahead. Ms. Russo's going to answer.
Thank you.
Yes, sorry, it's Jean, yes.
Ordinarily, we don't answer, obviously.
Jean, it's my recollection, I'm sorry that Director Skillman is not here, that the council did pass a resolution, and I think it happened when the developer made an application, and one of the considerations that I remember the council considered then is that in extending the hours in the evening, it would shorten the period of the overall disruption of the area, and also with respect to the traffic pattern on Avenue A. I do recall, and you have to forgive me, but I do recall that it was not, that the resolution can be revisited. I will get you a copy of that resolution. I apologize for not getting it to you yet, but I'll get that.
Because I did pull the minutes, or not the minutes, the agendas from December, and I cannot find that resolution anywhere. And it was, the specific night was Monday night, June 2nd, at 7:30, to be exact. But thank you, Donna.
Okay. Mr. McDonald is left. Mr. Halpin?
And I guess let's just clarify. I apologize. Jean, I think I do just want to clarify because the overall ordinance in and of itself was not amended. We allowed that specific project to have an extended hours of operation. I believe it's until 8 p.m. just to try to swiftly close up that project in and of itself. So, I apologize.
All right, normally
You're
this is
good.
not it's a statement period, not a question and answer.
Good to go? Okay. Hi, my name's Dan Halpin. I live at 291 Broadway. Just here today to speak out against any proposed data center development in Bayonne. You guys didn't think you were getting away with one more of these before you left, did you? This is my third council meeting. I started attending in April when, the information about this was widely disseminated. Never been able to make it here fast enough to speak, but I was able to today. I left my first meeting in April generally positive. At the time, it seemed like you were all pretty receptive to the concerns of the public. And there was productive talk about what would be done now and what would be done later based on feasibility, and that was something I was willing to accept. And then May rolled around, and I sort of expected to hear some news. I understand that I might have gotten there a little bit late that day. I think I walked in at around 6:15, and maybe there was a statement made. There were a lot of angry people here, so I assumed that something was said. But anyway, I ended up leaving very frustrated because really doesn't seem like anything's happened there, and there's nothing that I can see on the agenda today that, proposes any sort of ban or anything. And the reason that I'm particularly upset about this is because I grew up in Sussex County. So I watched a similar situation play out in a town 2 towns over from where I grew up in Andover, where in a span of about 3 weeks, their city council meetings got a little more raucous than ours do, but they got stuff done in about 3 weeks from when people started making a ruckus about it until May 28th. They were able to pass an amendment banning data centers and repeal some ordinances they had passed to allow for that use on several properties in Andover. And I understand that there was a gentleman here that last time that provided that information to the council. So, yeah. What I have heard here is that there's no current plans to develop a data center on that site. We don't know if we'll be liable for a lawsuit if we rescind the zoning, and we have to look at the pros and cons. All of this fretting kind of directly plays into the hands of big tech. This is a strategy that companies like Uber and Airbnb have used to roll out and become indispensable to everyday life. I can't really judge anyone for using an Uber at this point because they've run most of taxi services out of business by paying slave wages to lower prices. Airbnb, same thing. They're doing significant damage to the housing industry and also the hotel and services industry by offering low prices based on lack of regulation. They were able to get in before anyone was able to regulate them, and now only the most powerful cities seem to really be able to fight back against companies like that. They'll preach platitudes and mitigation for the downsides, but we see it happen again and again that these businesses are entirely reliant on us not being able to keep up with them. And so that's why they are kind of trying to rush in right now before we can sit and think and consider and pros and cons and stuff like that. But by that point, they will already be here, they will already be part of our daily lives, and it will be extremely hard to remove them once they have gotten in. So I think that should be of equal consideration to any benefits that could happen. So I guess I have a couple minutes left. I guess I don't have to go so fast. What the harm here is that we can't really afford to wait until they're rolling out the diesel generators into the parking lots to power the data centers. I'm sure when they built the one in Tennessee that is currently being powered by a fleet of diesel-powered generators in its parking lot, they made all the promises in the world that they would have been able to supply adequate power to that data center too, much like any developer will make promises to get in and then worry about fixing the problem later. But I don't really think we should have to wait until that point. I don't want to wait until people in this area start developing diseases down the road, as was the case with chemical developments earlier in this country's history. You can look at some of the studies that have been published locally here in New Jersey about places where chemical plants have operated, or DuPont in West Virginia. Some of the dangers in allowing businesses like this to operate in communities like Bayonne don't really manifest themselves until very far after the fact. But what we do know is that there are a lot of people in the audience today and that have been in the audience for the last couple of months that are very strongly against this. The development is unsustainable. and a lot of us have spoken out on it. And if this council wasn't able to act on it in the time that you guys had left, the new one made a lot of promises, and I want them to know that I will be here and I'm going to get louder every time. So, thanks.
Ms. Reddick?
Hi, Jenna Reddick, 128 West 55th Street. I'm just coming here tonight to get answers and transparency from the council. I know that the council has listened to the community and sided with them on other past issues, which I thank you for, but there is still much to be done. We were told about an ordinance being passed in June before the council leaves office, but there hasn't been any updates on that at all. CRAN, even Ben, who spoke, he's the CRAN leader, he even provided an ordinance to you on the May 13th council meeting that they have supplied to other towns to help ban data centers and help start the process for legal reasons. So tonight's agenda not having any mention of Delta storage or data centers in general is a bit frustrating. The situation of the community not being aware of legislations that's being passed in Bayonne is concerning as well. These are decisions that will have major effects on our daily lives, not just for today, but for decades to come. I'm also very concerned with Director Skillender telling us in the April 15th meeting saying, and I quote, "The property owner along with Bayonne Energy Center said that they had an arrangement in place that the power would be provided directly from BEC," end quote. When myself and others went to the BEC permit renewal meeting, they emphasized that they didn't know anything about this and that we were given misinformation. Someone claiming that there's an arrangement and talking about digging up city streets to build the power lines to provide power doesn't sound like it's just misinformation. We also learned that BEC is emitting so many harmful emissions and that Bayonne is the highest producer of formaldehyde in Hudson County, which is already the highest in the state. Without local newspapers and journalism, these things will continue to happen. We need more transparency because if the public had been informed, we wouldn't be at this point right now with people being upset. We as constituents need to be informed properly so we're not going to council or planning board meetings and finding out it's canceled the day of. Without pivotal proposals not being talked about with the community, the city will reflect the developers, not the constituents who built this town. I also saw that the add-on 8 has authorizing and approving a transfer in the controlling interests of redeveloper Bayonne Energy Center Urban Renewal 3 LLC. And that also concerns me because an environmental lawyer showed up to the permit renewal hearing from Brooklyn, which PEC powers, and he told us that New York State will commit to using 100% clean energy by the year 2040, and that BEC needs to start planning on how they will transition for that move, and a data center couldn't easily fill that void. So seeing that proposed, it's making me speculate, like, what could that be for? Maybe it is for the permit renewal, but him saying that for 2040 and BEC should start thinking about that transition is a little bit concerning as well. This is an opportunity for the council to leave office on a positive note and have a lasting legacy in our community. This is your chance to be the champions to the constituents on such a harmful plan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Resigno.
Mike Resigno. I'm here to thank the council for the wonderful job it's done while it's been in office, and to give a count, because you did name the yellow-crowned night heron the city bird of Bayonne, and at this time there are 26 active yellow-crowned night heron nests in Bayonne. 14 of them have chicks, and the count on the chicks is 40 newborns just from the 14 nests. So we have another 40 coming. And I want to thank the council for the work they've done, and Mr. Carter, for everything you've done at Public Works and everything, and I hope to be working with you in these next years coming ahead, because it's been a wonderful job working with you and doing the cleanups that we've done, and with the help of Public Works and the City Council helping us in that job getting it done. We have a cleanup this Saturday at Rakowski Park, and we hope to get to it. We've had 2 other cleanups, but they were canceled due to rain. So we're hoping that the public can come out and clean it up before it gets too overgrown. But again, there'll be a cleanup this Saturday at 9 a.m. at Rakowski Park. And thank you all for everything you've done, and God bless in your future endeavors. Thank you.
That was our last speaker. We move on to communications, which is a resolution moved by the council as a whole, ordering the following communications to be received and filed. It covers C1 through C18. Any questions on the communications? And on the communications, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll. Aye. Mr. Perez.
He stepped out.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And officers' reports is a resolution also moved by the council as a whole, ordering the following resolutions to be received and filed, and any resolutions incorporated within to be adopted. It covers OR 1 through OR 5. And on the officers' reports, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll. Aye. Mr. Perez. He's not here. Mr. Weimer. Ms. Weimer. I'm sorry. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And consent resolutions is ordinance moved by the council as a whole, and it's ordering the following resolutions to be adopted. It covers CR 1 through CR 30. And on the consent resolutions, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R1 is a resolution moved by Councilmember Perez authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into a contract with Prime Point for the continued use of their proprietary human resources and payroll software for a period of 1 year commencing July 17th through July 17th of 2027 for an amount not to exceed $150,000. And it's seconded by Councilmember La Palusa. On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R2 is moved by the council president authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into a contract with Edmunds GovTech for the continued use of its proprietary finance software for a period of 1 year commencing September 1, 2026 to August 31st, 2028 for an amount not to exceed $50,000. It's seconded by Mr. Perez. On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R3 is moved by the Councilmember Perez, authorizing change order number 1 for the emergency generator contract with Fagon for the 63rd Street Pump Station in the amount of $53,713.99, making the total contract $533,713.99. Mr. Booker, will you second? Second. On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R4 is moved by the council president authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into a contract with Raymond James for investment advisory services for a period of 1 year commencing June 17, 2026 through June 16, 2027 for an amount not to exceed $50,000. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R5 is moved by the council president authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into a contract with McKay Meters pursuant to NJSA 40A:12-5, Section D, to provide 300 MK beacon cell drawer assembly boxes for the Bayonne parking utility for an amount not to exceed $88,500. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll.
He stepped out.
out. Just tell me you're leaving. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R6 is moved by Councilmember Perez, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to award the citywide lead service line replacement Phase 2, Contract 1 to Pacific Construction in the amount not to exceed $9,207,500. Mr. La Palusa, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll? Is not here. Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer?
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
R7 is awarding the contract for the improvements for the ferry terminal parking lot and walkway to Zenith Construction Services for a contract amount of $1,881,190. It's moved, seconded by Councilmember Booker. You have a question? Okay. Mr. Resigno has a question.
Yes.
On this ferry terminal of the $1 million and everything, and then over that issue we were talking about, the money, if they were going to build a building for the community. And again, on this ferry terminal, I'm trying to get access to the east side of Bayonne with a kayak launch. And I keep bringing it up. And if this could be added into the walkway and the money that all the development's done out there, and they talk about the recreation and the waterfront walkway, but actually with that waterfront walkway, it stopped access to the public going down into the water with boats or kayak. So I'd just like to bring that up again and note it, that if they're going to do this ferry terminal to keep in mind a kayak launch for the public, for the thousands of people that live out there and being surrounded by water. We do have a wonderful one on the west side, and to bring it up for the east side again, to have that open up to keep in mind with the development to put money to the side for a kayak launch. Thank you.
And on R7, Mr. Booker. Has Mr. Carroll returned?
Yes, he has.
On R7.
Aye.
Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer?
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
R8 is moved by the council president, authorizing the reimbursement agreement with ExxonMobil Corporation. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll?
Aye.
Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer?
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
R9 is moved by the council president, authorizing the execution of a redevelopment agreement by and between the city of Bayonne and Center Street Redevelopers LLC to permit the extension for the closing to September 30th, 2026. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
R10 is moved by Councilmember Booker, authorizing the mayor and council to negotiate an amendment and modification to the concessionaire's agreement with Royal Caribbean. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer.
I guess I would wonder, do we have information on what that amendment is?
Yes, I can answer that. As you know, there's a user fee that was part of the concessionaire's agreement between Port Authority, Royal Caribbean, and the city of Bayonne. We've requested both entities to entertain an increase in the city's user fee, and we've received a positive feedback.
Okay, certainly. All right, thank you, ma'am, I appreciate that. Aye.
And Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
R11 is moved by Councilmember Perez. It is a resolution of the City of Bayonne in the County of Hudson, New Jersey, determining the form and other details of its note relating to the Transportation Bank short-term loan program of the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank to be issued in the principal amount of up to $900,000 and providing for the issuance and sale of such note to the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank and authorizing the execution and delivery of such note by the City of Bayonne in favor of the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank, all pursuant to the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank's Transportation Bank Short-Term Loan Program. Mr. Perez, La Palusa, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
R12 is authorizing a reimbursement agreement with IMTT. It's moved by the Council President La Palusa. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R13 is moved by the council president. It's authorizing an amendment to the redevelopment by the city between the city and 20 North Avenue Urban Renewal LLC, 426 North Street, which is identified as Block 297, Lot 3, as shown on the official tax map. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
And on the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R14 will be withdrawn since we didn't pass the ordinance. R15 is a omnibus resolution to correct several Scrivener's errors in the resolutions. Who'd like to move it?
Second.
15. On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And we do have a couple of add-ons, which the first one, add 1, is authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute an access agreement with the Bayonne Housing Authority and the City of Bayonne and the Bayonne Police Department.
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Add 2 is authorizing the city clerk to administer and maintain said web page and archive in accordance with PL 25C72. Who'd like to move it?
Move it.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And 3 is authorizing the preparation and submission of an application for the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection Hazardous Discharge Site Remediation Funds for the investigation and environmental cleanup for the Holy Family property.
Move.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And 4 is acknowledging the company title change from Montrose LLC to Entreas LLC and assigning all contractual obligations to the same. It's just a name change. And on that one, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
At 5 is authorizing the mayor and/or his designees to execute an agreement and any amendments with the Department of Environmental Protection's Green Acres Program for the North Bay Waterfront Phase 2. On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
At 6 is authorizing an agreement with Personal Giordano Construction LLC for the replacement of the rubber surfacing in Fitzpatrick Park in the amount of $15,051.97 through state contract bid 26080.
Second.
6, on the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
7 is also an agreement with Personal Giordano for the replacement of rubber surfacing in Clark Park in the amount of $44,252.81.
Move.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
08 is authorizing and approving the transfer of the controlling interest of redeveloper Bayonne Energy Urban Renewal 3 LLC.
Mike, you got a question?
On this authorizing and approving the transfer, now, what is this entailed and what are the companies? Now, I'm bringing this up because this is in turn what we were told about the data center was going to use this energy center. So who is approving and transferring the power and the ownership of this? It's,
Yeah.
that's my question.
Sir, I think I could maybe shed some light for you.
Okay.
So as we understand it, the Bayonne Energy Center is going through a corporate restructure or a takeover from another company, and this is, we have to approve the transfer of the controlling interest. There's nothing, it's, the city's not involved, it's just, we have to approve the controlling interest for the redevelopment.
Controlling, you have to approve the controlling interest, but how can you be not involved if you're the one that has to approve it?
It's paperwork, it's not, we don't have any interest in these companies.
So
It's part of the redevelopment.
But are we transferring the controlling interest, or are we changing the designated party of the controlling interest? I feel like that doesn't read properly. If they're changing their name because of a corporate merger or takeover, then we're simply redesignating a name. We're not transferring an interest, and this doesn't state who it is that we're transferring it to.
Behind him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We have somebody, are you from Bayonne Energy Center?
Yes.
Okay, can you come up and state your name, please?
Erica Antonia Parlavecchio from Chiesa, Shahinian, and John Tomasi here on behalf of Bayonne Energy Center. So I guess I would just like to clarify, because I think there are some questions that are happening. So this is purely an administrative action. Bayonne Energy Center is going through, as was stated, a corporate restructuring. The redeveloper is not changing. Bayonne Energy Center is going to continue to operate at the property. It's just an administrative corporate restructuring at the parent level. That's all that's happening.
Mike?
So you're not redesignating an entity, essentially, is the point.
Mike, are you satisfied with that answer?
No, it was kind of fast.
In layman's terms,
Yeah.
are we?
Sorry.
Are we
Alright, so wait.
changing the name of the people we're sending mail to?
No,
It's still going to be called Bayonne Energy Center.
correct.
I'll ask.
Just one second.
Okay.
All right, we're going to get another clarification. That word
Yeah, I just confirmed. The name is not changing. It's a change in ownership at so there's the company here, and at the parent level, there's some restructuring that's happening, but the name of Bayonne Energy Center is not changing. Bayonne Energy Center will continue to be the lessee of, they're continuing to operate at the property. That's all that's happening. It's an administrative requirement under the redevelopment agreement that technically this type of restructuring triggers a transfer and so then we need the council's consent to do that. That's all that is happening.
And that's simply because the beneficial owner.
Correct. It's just an ownership
is
change. So
changing.
technically, the redevelopment agreement definition of a transfer is triggered, but the redeveloper is not changing.
And that's simply because that's just how our development agreement has been drafted.
Most redevelopment agreements are drafted that way, yes.
Okay, so again, none of the terms are changing, Mike, none of the authorizers, approvals, anything of that nature. It's simply that the beneficial owner of the Energy Center is changing to a new one. So we have to reflect that.
That's the name I want to know. Is it DeMonica? No.
No.
Because I want to make sure with the Delta storage and who's buying this.
I mean, no one's buying, no, it's a corporate restructuring.
It's a corporation.
Still will be sending juice to Con Ed.
I'm not going to speak to the project, but, Bayonne Energy Center's project was approved by the planning board. The scope of the project is not changing. What they're doing at the site is not changing. Their obligations under the redevelopment agreement are not changing. This is simply a corporate restructuring.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Who'd like to move it?
Second.
At 8, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
At 9 is amending Resolution 25-12-17074 to increase the contract with Train USA in the amount of $53,665 to purchase 8 HU air bleeders and 5 additional VAV boxes, making the total contract amount $1,555,040. On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
At 10 is awarding the contract for DPW uniforms to Herbert's Army and Navy LLC for 31 months commencing June 18, 2026 through December 31st, 2028, with a mutually agreed 2-year extension through January 1st, 2029 to December 30th, 2030 for a contract amount not to exceed $40,000 annually.
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And the last one is the receipt of bids and awarding the contract for cleanup of North Bergen for the 2025 roadway improvements, I-Bank, for a total bid amount, price of $471,341.50.
Move it.
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And
Is there anything else, or?
there is nothing else.
All right, I have a couple things, orders of business. This is a mayoral proclamation. I feel like you should be reading this, but I'll read it because I was asked to. Whereas Suzanne Mack is retiring as the city planner of the city of Bayonne on July 1st, 2026, after 28 years of outstanding service. At the former Bayonne Local Redevelopment Authority, she served as its chief planner. She has managed a variety of issues for Bayonne, such as redevelopment, affordable housing, transportation, and federal and state grants. Thanks to her, Bayonne received millions of dollars in federal and state funds. And whereas Suzanne Mack has chaired the North Jersey Advisory Board of New Jersey Transit since 1989, she is a certified transportation planner and affordable housing professional. With the County of Hudson, she has served as executive director of the Hudson Transportation Management Association. She served as president of the Jersey City Board of Ed from 1996 to 2014 and oversaw education for the second largest school district in the state. And whereas Suzanne Mack earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Urban Studies at St. Peter's College in 1984. Now therefore I, Robert Kubert, Mayor of the City of Bayonne,
Sweet.
do hereby proclaim that Wednesday, June 17th, 2026
Oh, nice.
is to be observed as Suzanne Mack Day. Congratulations.
You people are so sweet. Aw.
If I might, Suzanne, before
Yes.
your comments,
Yes, I don't have any comments.
I thought it'd be
Mayor.
appropriate that the council and the director of the law department, I was hoping Joe Skillender would still be here, because they've interacted with you.
Yes.
And you've dealt with them for many, many
Thank you
years.
so much. Okay.
And I've only dealt with you for 6 months. So
Well, I'm very fond
I
of
just thought it'd be appropriate that they do it, but I do want to thank you for the 6 months you educated me, and she has made the city millions and millions and millions of dollars in grants and giveaways and everything else. All the parks that she got done over, she's amazing. She's known throughout the state as being very efficient. She knows what she's doing. She, right? You do. Yeah. And she's very persuasive. And I had a meeting with the State Commissioner Glory a couple of weeks ago over the Turnpike. And the praise that he gave her was simply amazing. He deals with her all the time. And he said he has never, ever dealt with anyone so dedicated and so persuasive and so kind and loving as you are. Yeah. So congratulations.
Who are you grooming as your replacement?
guns down for you, yeah. Woo. Yeah.
I just want to thank everyone. I think I come to council meetings more than maybe some other staff over the course of the year, and I cannot tell you what a pleasure it is to have worked with this council and this mayor and former mayors and former councils. And I will tell Councilman Carroll, whatever I have to do to come back to get you your workforce housing, that's going to be one. But again, I had a conversation the past couple of days. My son just did a coloring book on, my son is an international speaker, I think you know that. He says his job is to teach children to be kind and adults not to be something else. So I've been trying to, as I walk out the door, or crawl out the door with my little problem with my hip, I've been trying to tell everybody that the people of Bayonne are the kindest, and that, a lot of us are moving on, but be proud of how kind Bayonne is. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And I'd like to take a few more minutes of your time, if you don't mind, Madeline. I know it's been a long night. And somebody in the room, oh, this will be a quick one. But I thought that the council should be recognized for what they've done for the city for their entire terms. I know, Gary, you've been here through, what, 3 mayors?
5 mayors.
5 mayors, all right. My math isn't that good. But tonight was a perfect example of what you do. Sometimes you stick to your guns. Sometimes you change your minds, like happened here tonight. But no matter what it is, whether you stick to your guns, change your mind, you always have the interest of those you serve, your constituents, the citizens of Bayonne. You always do what you think is right for them. You put your own personal feelings aside, and you really work hard to do. I see you here all day working on different things. And you put a lot of time in it. I don't think people realize it. You put a lot of dedication in, very professional. And I want to thank you on behalf of the city of Bayonne for your service.
We want to thank you for your service as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And today's not only Suzanne Mack Day, it's also Recognize the Council Day. So I have proclamations for each of you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for your service. I think he deserves to be honored as well, because he really held the city together for his time here, and he should be commended on all his service as well. So we can give him a round of applause as well.
With nothing else?
Couple things. I know I also have a statement to read. Would you guys like to, everybody like to say a couple words? As our last council meeting, and I would like to close the meeting out, and then I'll let you know when we're all done, Madeline. Thank you. Yes, you go first.
All right, real quick. I know someone told me to stop saying that when I started this council, and he happens to be in this room. I always say just a quick minute. I wrote out a statement for my last meeting, but I decided not to do that. I decided to speak from my heart. The fact of the matter is, working with this council has been pretty special to me. And I thank them. I knew I wasn't going to do that. Listen, my best interest has always been the city of Bayonne. Listen, sometimes we got it wrong. A lot of times we got it right, and we're not perfect. But again, I'm going to stand by the fact that I think we did a fantastic job, and I think we kept the best interests in the city of Bayonne on this dais. We did not always do it right. We did not make everybody happy, but I'm just saying it's been one of the proudest moments of my life, serving the city of Bayonne.
So I was the one that spent months telling him to stop saying real quick. You know, throughout our 4 years here, we have made some everlasting friendships, have overcome some tremendous challenges, and had to pull together to work as a team, which was probably one of those tremendous challenges. Sometimes easier said than done, but I must say that I did meet some very influential people, or at least people that had a tremendous influence on my life, and who helped me to realize what our city really needed, and things that my eyes were not open to previously, not because I didn't want to be, but because I wasn't aware. So my time here my intent was to come in to help and perhaps make a difference. I hope that my efforts did do that. I have to say that those individuals, and there were some of our developers, some of the attorneys that work with them, certainly all of our advisors here in the city council, people like Suzanne Mack and Suzanne Kavanaugh, and certainly Donna and Jay Coffey, who has since retired, but and certainly Director Skillender as well, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a tremendous amount of people. And Tommy, I'm sorry, you can kick me because I probably bother Tommy 18 times a day, so I didn't mean to forget you either, and people like Pete Amadeo, but the people that help us each and every day make that difference here in the city, because no one does it alone. So, and then certainly all of our constituents are really what matters most. So thank you all for allowing me that time and to be here to make my contribution. I appreciate it.
Neil? I'm going to go last.
First of all, I got to say, it's a privilege and an honor to serve the city of Bayonne. To serve the city of Bayonne for 3 terms. I was elected 3 times. When I ran, it was because we had a situation here in Bayonne in 2014. The city was at a structured deficit of $31 million from 2013. And everything that we had was being sold. The water department, the military ocean terminal, you name it, they sold it just for a quick gimmick budget, to fix the budget. Now, we saw that, I saw that, so that's when I decided to run with the mayor, Jimmy Davis. He was a full-time mayor here. He didn't have a second job. This was his job, and he worked it. I was here as a full-time councilman. The other people had jobs, so they had to go to work. I was retired, so I took advantage of that. I stayed here. I had opportunities to go to work. No, I didn't. I stayed strictly for the people of Bayonne. I worked for the people of Bayonne. I helped them as much as I could. Was I perfect? No. I made mistakes? Yes. But my intention was the people of Bayonne and to take care of the people of Bayonne. I'm so proud. Look at the parks now. They're beautiful. When we came here, the parks were, forget it. They look terrible. And you got to go down there by the Turnpike. There's a beautiful park being built. We're spending over $5 million to make it a beautiful park for the kids, for the adults, And this is what we did, the administration did, all of us, we got together. We tried to make the city much better than what it was. When I came in, there was 65,000 people here in Bayonne. Their house were being sold. When people were losing money on their houses because they had to sell it like less. So as soon as we started getting here and we started investing, promoting development, everything started moving up. Now we got 72,000 people here by the last census. So it's going up, it's good. And oh geez, I can't find the damn words. The prices of the house has gone up, everything has gone up. The value of your property has gone up, everything has gone up before it was going down. So I'm very proud to be here for those 3 terms. I was very proud that I was elected here for those 3 terms, and I'm hoping that the new people that are coming in do just as good a job as we did, even better. So thank you, God bless you tonight. Thank you very much.
I was one of those council people with a job that I reported to every day. This city means so much to me and to my family. And one of the reasons I ran 8 years ago was because that type of public service in one form or another has been in my family since the 1960s, whether it was a great-grandfather serving as chief of police, a grandfather serving with the Congress and with the Board of Freeholders, in the Board of Education, and then on the council. I just hope that I've done enough to keep my family proud when I look them in the eye, and my wife when I look her in the eye. And my first meeting ever in City Hall was actually with then Director Kubert. And it was the first project I ever put forward. It was the stoplight illumination program. Every stop sign in the city has a red illuminating stripe. And I was nervous. I didn't know how to get it done. I didn't know how to pay for it, which is the name of the game in government. How are you going to pay for the thing you want to do? And Red said, Neil, we got it. Don't worry. And it was, ever since then, you have been maybe one of the best people ever to work with. And I was so happy that you helped me that day and got me off on the right foot. But everyone up here has had the best interests of the city at heart. It has been an honor of a lifetime to serve. It's been nourishing to the soul. Even when the meetings go on for hours about things you may or may not have control over, and when the complaints come in about digging up the street or putting in the new light poles and all those things that tend to make people angry, I am proud that this council didn't kick the can to another administration, but did the work that needed doing. Sometimes it makes people so angry they vote you out, but that's no reason not to do the job before you. And so, saying that, I'm very proud to share this day with all of you. And thank you so much for letting me say.
I have to tell you, I really, really enjoyed my time as an elected official. I'm in my 23rd year as an elected official in Bayonne, 4 times as councilman. I want to thank each and every one of my supporters, my family and my friends. I can't thank you enough. It's a real, real big show of confidence. And what I could say is that I got into this because I live uptown, and uptown was always the redheaded stepsister that didn't get treated very well. Most of the politicians were from downtown. Everything happened downtown. And so I was happy to get the tree lighting, and we started one of the parades uptown. And we do a lot of joking around, especially Neil and I, and we would joke about different things. Some of it's a little true, and some of it's just for me being a strong advocate for uptown. And I've lived my whole life uptown, and I'm very proud of that, and I'm very proud of the things that we've gotten done. As far as helping people, I've been able to help a tremendous amount of people in my time here. I think we've moved Bayonne forward. Joe Nichols is in the audience today. I take you back to about 2008, I believe it was, and Joe got the council and a few other people, city officials, into a Chevy Blazer and took us in sand dunes, which is now the military ocean terminal, the former military ocean terminal, our peninsula at Bayonne Harbor. And to see what that's developed into now is unbelievable. It's incredible. And I'm glad to have been a part of that. The parks are very near and dear to me. Most people know I work in the county parks. I was also instrumental with Director Cotter in doing some of the landscaping outside. You could see some of the flowers and the plants. Even though it fell a little short on our budgets, we weren't able to finish. Mr. Cotter, I think you said we're going to finish at some point. So I'm here if you want some, some help in doing that. I'm glad to help you. Yeah. The parks, very, very near and dear to my heart. Russell Golding Park was a brand-new park when I was 4 years old. And they had wooden blocks and stainless steel sliding ponds and things that they probably wouldn't be able to have today just by the law. But that's going to be a state-of-the-art park. And I was really, really happy to be involved in the process and the design in some capacity. I know it's not done yet, but it's going to have a roof over 2 basketball and pickleball courts and a 40-foot Welcome to Bayonne sign right at our gateway. I can't ask for more than that, advocating for Uptown. And I want to wish the new council and mayor the best of luck. It's a challenge, no matter what happens, no matter what times are going on, what are the historical things going on around us. This is a challenge. The military always talks about the greatest job you'll ever love, the hardest job you'll ever love, excuse me. And I consider that the same challenge in the city council. It's the hardest job you'll ever love. Mayor Kubert, I respect you a real lot. Thank you for all your service. You're the 5th mayor that I'm serving under, but you don't have a monthly meeting like I do, and I have to see the public. And even if they're mad at the city or you, I have to answer for that. So that's another reason why it was tough, and yet I loved it at the same time. And I love being able to try and help people. If they come up with an issue or a problem, a lot of times we were able to help them or steer them in the right direction for the help. So I want to say congratulations to my colleagues, because without you, I couldn't have had this 4 years as council president. To all the directors and the people I worked with throughout the years, I want to thank you, because we can't do this by ourselves, and it really, really is such a huge team effort. My family, Mary, my friends, there's so much time away from your family and friends that we really have to thank you for letting us do this job, because without your support, we'd be nothing, we'd be lost. We have, I believe, around 40 parks in Bayonne. I don't know the exact number, Tommy. Do you know the number? But in Bayonne? Oh, 21? I thought it was, all right, well, even 21, that's a lot. We've been able to refurbish almost every single park. We're getting very close to the end of that. And I think that was one of the goals that we had when we came in, and I'm glad that we were able to stick to that as well. So I want to wish everybody the best. Thank you for having us, and I'll see you around the neighborhood, because I'm not going anywhere. So, yeah. Lloyd wants to add something.
I just want to add one thing. As you sit around and I listen to everybody, I was the that kid in class that always listened to everybody that had something to say at the end of what they said, and I just walked out of the classroom. I just want to say something to Tommy Cotter, Donna, Mary Jane, and first and foremost, Madeline. Listen, I don't know, I sit here every meeting, listen to you reading that agenda and going over and over, and sometimes keeping control of these meetings. I sit here and wonder, I said, how does she do it? And I just want to say it's been a pleasure to work with you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Mayor Kubert, I've worked with you before, and it was a pleasure to work with you again. And forgive me for getting all my thoughts together after everybody has spoken. But thank you very much, Madeline, Donna, Tommy, and Mary Jane. Thank you. Oh, and Don, both Donnas. Thank you.
10 more minutes when we're done. Put it in Madeline. We'll take a picture over there, please.
Sure, sure. I want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July as well.
Dr. Joe, can you put the biographies that are in their proclamations on the city website? Of course. All right, we'll do that. It explains what they've been doing over the years and their positions, and if I read them, we'd still be going through it. So just put them on the website, please, and let everybody know how great they are.
Mayor Kubert, I've nicknamed you the Sage. We can have meetings, and he'll sit there politely and not say anything, and at the very end say 2 or 3 words, and it's everything. It's a culmination of what occurred in the room. But I have to say, I've worked with you a long time ago and recently, and this could have been a turbulent time these last 6 months. You held it together, and on a personal note, you are the most kind and courteous and considerate and empathetic human being I've ever met. You are good to this city, and I hope we are all good to you. Thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you. Want to make you want to,
Okay.
yeah, motion?
So for the last time with this council, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Oops. And on the motion, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Keep it in order.